All right, what's going on YouTube? What's going on Big Blue Crew? What's going on Giants Nation? Big Pat, Classified with Joe. We're here to give you just a little play-by-play of the Joe Schoen press conference today. I'm gonna go to Joe and see exactly what he wants to hear from Joe Schoen today. I heard his first interview with the Giants went pretty well, as far as they do the little podcast interview. He said some good things in that one. I'll break that down later, but I want to hear what you think about what should be going on today with the press conference today.
I am taking this as neutral as I possibly can. I'm not expecting nothing. I'm not gonna buy into the hype that we all bought in last year. You know how that went, Pat. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to sneeze. Okay, maybe I don't. I'm just gonna sit here and listen to this guy's words, and I'm gonna break this down here later after we get to watch this interview. I want to appreciate everybody for being here with us. Thank you, Tosh, for sending me that link. Clicked right in. Beautiful. Worked great. I almost want the guy to give us a feeling of hope, but we had a feeling of hope with Joe Judge. You know what I mean, Pat? He gave that fire and brimstone speech, and we all bought into that. And fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. I'm not going to just sit here and listen with blind ears. This guy's really going to have to. He's going to have to put this one right out of the park for me to get anything like the hype I was last year. Let's just. I want to hear the team is screwed up. I want to get an idea of the direction that this guy wants to go. I'd really like to know what he's looking for in a head coach. I want to know what he's looking for as far as the future, what this team is going to need to become winning football again. We're all sick and tired of this. We've had enough. We don't want losing seasons anymore. We want to be competitive. We want to be in the division titles. We want a ring.
I mean,
go ahead, Pat.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Last year's press conference got people pretty hyped. Well, not last year, but the press conference of Joe Judge got us pretty hyped 2 years ago. And I'm not going to fall for the same thing, man. I'm just going to look for results this time to see exactly what's going to happen. I do want to hear his thoughts on some of the questions that he will be asked today. I just want to hear how good he is on his feet and his delivery about things, and where does he think he can go with this team, and what does he want to do with this team in the future? What's going on, King Tone, Super Taj, Mike Nixon? What's going on? Hope you're feeling well, bro.
Yes.
What's up, Mac? What's going on, Big Mac?
I agree, Pat. I think we just, we're looking for something to grab onto because we've just been so bad for so long.
Mm-hmm. And so I can't get super hyped over a press conference. I have to see him in action. I will say I have been impressed with the whole offseason so far for the Giants. I have been impressed by it. I think they've done the correct things as far as trying to hire a head coach, and I think they did right by the due diligence of hiring a new GM. As you can see, the candidates that did not make it, they are getting GM jobs immediately. So that means they did a pretty good search with these GMs, because a lot of these GMs are wanted by other people as well. What's going on, Big Blue Slim?
Blue Slim. And that's just it. The first question I want asked is, why did you take this job? I don't want some political BS goddamn answer either. Why, Schoen, did you take the money?
Right.
He's not going to say that. What makes you think that you come in here can turn this franchise around? Why do I believe in you guys? I mean, that's true, Robert. That's why we're saying free agency, that we're going to be losing some guys. And I want to hear from Mara too about this cap thing, because Mara did say if we have to eat some dead cap to free up some money so that Schoen can get some guys in here, then we're going to be eating dead cap this year.
Well, speaking of that, that's something I can share while we're listening to the interview, Joe.
Okay. Deception. Robert, man, thanks for popping in. Mara's at the podium now. We're going to be quiet while a lot of this is talking, but we'll be talking in the chat with you guys.
What's going on, Deception? John Mara is at the podium.
Tahoon, thank you. Well, just real quick, Mara looks like he's not a whoop puppy dog right there.
Right. Now they're now introducing Joe Shane. You step into the podium now. What's going on, Michael Sachs Jr.? Well, right now he's talking about adding depth and competition for every position so far. He does look very nervous. He looks very nervous.
Steve.
Basically, this is just his opening speech to the Giants community. It's going to be a lot of thanking of everybody and a lot of thankful for having an opportunity. what we're waiting for is the questions, people. So
Right.
give the time. They'll get into the questions after this whole ordeal here. But he does look a little nervous up there. But getting the GM job of the New York Giants can be a nervous situation for your first time. So that doesn't mean he'll be nervous in what he does behind the scenes.
I liked what he did say. They'll build a team.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect a lot of free agency moves.
I'll say this. I hope this guy hair turns gray while he has the job here.
Right.
Meaning that he's been here for about 10 years.
Yep.
And the young man starts to leave. He starts getting into his old man game, but he's still the GM of the Giants. That means he's doing something right. So
now he's taking questions.
yeah, now he's taking questions now. It's a good question. Okay, so he said we can compete today and build for tomorrow. Okay.
Now they're asking a Daniel Jones question. Ooh.
Well, they said they'll build an offense around Daniel Jones, so he let it slip out a little bit.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So we got 11 draft picks this year, people, and he's looking to use those picks to be contributors immediately.
I thought we only had 9, but he might be counting supplemental picks.
Mm-hmm. That screams Brian Dabo to me, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about analytics. That's true.
I like how he's bringing this up
Mm-hmm.
because that's been a problem with our front office. There's been a lot of confusion and bickering back and forth with Gettleman guys.
So the carte blanche name might be correct.
Yep.
So basically, saying that mayors are going to back off and let him do his job.
Yep. One thing we needed the most.
Okay, salary cap question. Kevin Abrams was here to stay.
Are you serious?
No, you must have heard the question before me.
Yep.
So they said playoffs very first year. Come on, man. What's going on, Tim? We just listening to the Joe Schoen press conference.
Uh-oh.
So they're gonna have a little bit of input on the head coach.
Hey, champ.
So basically, he's saying you guys have to be patient. We're gonna build
Yes.
something here.
Yes.
So the Giants was a coveted job.
Yes. Definitely sounds like he's going to take it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Only thing I'm worried about so far is the head coach situation.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Got a little fire to him.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
What we've been saying.
Thanks, King Tom. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't put good character in front of talent.
Talking about the roster now. Good question.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Looks like he has a plan for the draft already, folks.
And free agency.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Ooh. That's a typical CEO power move.
Mm-hmm. So Bill Parcells does know the kid.
Yep.
Damn. He continues to say that he'll be given the resources to do that.
Yes.
So, like I said, the carte blanche thing may be true. Just hopefully they let him choose a head coach that he believes that he can work with, and not
Right.
somebody that they want. That's the only
That's
thing
the
I'm
end of
worried
it,
about.
right?
Yeah,
Yep. That's
the
it.
end of
That was quick. Half hour.
yeah, it's quick and to the point.
I like some things. I not sure how I like Mara and Tish and everybody involved into the head coaching decision. That's kind of got me a little bit shaky.
I wonder I wonder if they're in the decision part of it. I wonder if they're just overwatching it and not actually a part of making the decision. But say if he wants to hire Brian Flores, and they just be like, okay, and just to say that they were part of the coaching decision. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think they're actually making the decision. But the only thing that has me worried is Brian Flores was called to get an interview before Shane was hired. So it doesn't make any sense to tell that man that he has carte blanche, and then you turn around and tell him that we're going to hire this head coach no matter if you want him or not. So that really doesn't make sense to me. I think that's a betrayal in the very beginning of the relationship, and I think that would soil the relationship immediately. Thank you for everybody coming over from the press conference. We're going to be talking about a couple of things about the press conference now. Welcome to Giant Interactions. Hopefully Lou can pop in for a little bit. Thank you guys for tuning in right afterwards. I'm going to say this. I'm intrigued by Mr. Joe Schoen. I think the kid is bright. I think he's very smart. And I think he cares about building a winning team. Now, with all that being said, the last guy that we got hyped for a press conference for, he wanted some of the same things. But he continues to reiterate that he will have the resources to do what he wants to do here. So that's a good sign for me. Viz Edits, what's going on? Taj, what's going on? I'm kind of excited about that. How you fail your midterm,
bro?
What the hell, bro? Man, the parent just kicked into me on right there.
Yeah.
You're not my child, so I ain't gonna do what I would do to my child. But man, get that together, bro. Ian, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Everybody, like and subscribe to the channels. What's going on, Alex? Just want to get you guys a couple of opinions. We got 40 people in the chat. Thank you.
Oh man, guys, showing the love today.
Right. I just want you to go over a little bit what you think about the press conference, Joe, and then I'm gonna chime in after you. Then we'll go back and forth off each other, and maybe we'll invite a couple of people in here a little bit to let them say their piece about it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear everybody else's, some other people's opinions and takes. The one thing I'm going to say is he let it slip. Oh man, thank you, Garrett. Appreciate it.
Hit that like and subscribe button for us.
Yes. He let it slip that Daniel Jones, he's going to build something around Daniel. That's what he said. We're going to build something around Daniel Jones. All right. So that's telling me, all right, we're probably going to get a competent backup and maybe somebody that's going to put a little pressure on DJ. But right now, DJ is going to be the starting quarterback. That just the way it came out, because if he didn't like him, you know how sometimes a facial expression will give away a detail. And I was watching his face, and I didn't see that lip curl or the eyes narrow or look down to the left, whatever that one is where they're lying. I didn't see anything like that. So it seems that he's happy with some of the people that are in the staff, some of the people that are in the front office, some of the people that are in scouting. So look, I'm all for giving everybody a chance. And if the guy can't do it, you get rid of him. I mean, I've seen that in a lot of corporations that I've worked with, as a factory worker. A new CEO comes in, they'll get rid of this guy, but everyone gets a chance to show that they're worth. Not Zay. Hey, man, thanks for stopping in. Ethan, what's good? Kemp, man, appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for 49 people in the chat.
All right, let's go, baby. Let's go, Giants. Okay, this guy did have a little bit of hope. Look, I mean, he really didn't sugarcoat anything, but he also didn't let him very much slip. The one thing I will say is I'm liking Pat right now. I really like he's going to make the decisions. When the question was asked in the front office, can you make that move? And he said, yeah, I can. All right. There was no looking over to Mara with a nervous glance or looking around. He looked right. Yeah, I can make that move. If that guy's not doing his job, I can get rid of him. I can bring in somebody else. You know, that's what we have to have. And this is going to be patience. His key words throughout the whole interview were build.
Yep.
All right. So don't look for Watson.
Shout out to Kevin T.
Yes. Don't look for Wilson. Don't look for another quarterback right now, because that's just does not seem like a move that he's going to make. He's liking that he's got some draft capital. He's liking that he can do some talent evaluations. And you know, in Buffalo, they were really good at picking third, fourth, fifth rounders, which is where we've got to hit this year.
Yep.
We have a lot of young talent, and this young talent can let, you know, this coaching staff come in and grow and develop them because they're still young. They're still on their first year contract. You know, maybe he could get more out of McKinney. Maybe he could. McKinney's already phenomenal, but could you imagine if this guy can teach him more? You know, what about these young edge rushers we have? Ojulari, Roche. You know, maybe we can get a little bit more out of them. So maybe they're not going to look at an edge rusher. But yeah, I know. Don't be impatient. I get it. But
what's good?
What's good? We're going to be eating dead cap, guys. Don't get upset if we're $30-40 million in the hole of dead cap. Because Schoen knows that we've got to get linemen in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that, Alex. A lot of people were impatient. Some people were,
Some people were saying Joe Judge 2.0, all this.
Yes.
I just want to go off a little bit of what Joe was saying. I do like the fact what's going on, Blue City. What's going on, everybody? 57 in the chat.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Man.
Appreciate
almost 60 now, 59. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. The chats are in the links are in the description. Hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Big Blue Crew. Thanks for everybody for coming through. I know you guys are excited about the press conference, but to just go off on what Joe was saying, patience is going to be key. Joe just told you, the man was saying build through the whole interview process. Every other question was about this roster and what he's going to do to turn around here in New York, and he continued to say the same thing. We got to build. Basically telling you, hey, we're going to build through the draft. If there's some free agent guys that I think that we can bring in, what's going on, Earl, that will help us out, we will do that. Deception said, I think a lot of the Twitter fans that want a whole rebuild think that a rebuild will solve everything overnight. I worry that if this next season is subpar, people will be calling for heads again. You know it, Deception.
Yeah, they're going to.
I've been saying it. This is what you wanted. You wanted a full rebuild. You got your rebuild, but you have to be patient with it. That's basically what he just told you. Everybody's saying the Bills turning around so quick. He just told you that it took three years for them to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah,
they went 9-7 one year. To the next year, they went 6-10. Ain't that what Joe Judge did? He did 6 wins, then he went to 4. But the third year, they stuck with the regime. The third year, they came up. They went to the playoffs. The fourth year, they were one play away from being the AFC Championship game. 13 seconds away.
Yep.
So it takes time to build something.
Look at the Bengals, guys. Look at the Bengals. They're in the championship game. It took them 3 or 4 years. You know, the coach won back-to-back seasons, 3-game winning seasons back-to-back. You know, look, man, just give this guy a chance. Give this guy time. Let's see how he drafts. Let's see how he's going to run the organization.
Got it back.
My internet. Yeah, I got it back. Sorry about that, guys. Spectrum's not that great.
But it was the same with the Bengals. It took them 4 years.
Right.
The coach even said he gave a game ball to the GM and the owner because he said, if I was the owner, I probably would have fired my ass after the first 2 years that we had. But then that third year, they built it, and now they're in the AFC Championship game. Right, King Tom? Right. people need to stop thinking the Bengals did it in 1 year. It was a process of 3 years. I tell you this, King Tone, it was a process of 4 years.
Yep.
Because Jonah Williams and Mixon came before Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Y'all remember Tyler Boyd was drafted. T. Higgins was drafted. So, I mean, you guys got to stop that 1 year thing. He says the Giants situation is a mirror image as to where the Bills were 5 years ago. They were allowed to stop. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Exact same thing happened over there. He says, why don't y'all want to trade for Deshaun Watson? Because I think it takes up too much of draft capital and cap that we have, and we're not a ready built team, Ethan. Not saying that he's not a top 3 quarterback in his league. He is, but what do we have when we get him? If we have to give up 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, players, and then he takes up the little bit of cap room that we have, then what we have? He's going into the same exact situation that he's leaving, and that's just not right. Mike Nixon, what's going on? He said, I love what he said. I'm embarrassed by some of the fan base. He hasn't been here for not even a week, and people want him gone. I'm just dumbfounded.
I mean,
you're going to see a lot of that, Mike. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I agree, Mike. Look, I mean, you're going to get the instant reaction because a lot of people aren't going to really take to heart or understand what the man's talking about. And let's not forget, you know, it's a chat room. I mean, some of these people might be 14 years old. You know, some of them might be trolls. It might be Eagles fans in there under a different name, different account. You know that happens. You know, just look, take the information that you're given, use your vision, use your sight, you know, and then go with what you believe, man. Go with what you see, not what other people see, not what other people tell you. What did you hear? Listen to what you heard. You'll make your own decisions. Don't follow the lemmings off the cliff.
70 in the chat, man.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Man, like, subscribe, ring that bell. We're always putting out content. We're going to be doing March Madness. We're going to be doing some other stuff on G Nation's channel. We do the knuckle. What's he call that? The knuckle?
I forgot what he called it.
It used to be leather to the face. Knuckle up podcast.
It's the Knuckle Up podcast when he does videos, but it's leather to the face when we go live and call the boxing match.
Yeah, we talk boxing.
Pat Burial says he didn't say nothing about a 3-4 year rebuild. I mean, he didn't come right out and say it, but you got to read between the lines, Pat. That's what he was saying. Build. That doesn't mean he's going to come in and do this whole rebuild in a month or two. That's not realistic, Pat.
Yes, Kevin.
In fact, he talks to the Big Tuna as a plus. Yes. Yeah, shout out to the Miz, because the Miz said that Bill Parcells was working behind the scenes, and it looks like he has.
And even Earl said.
Yep. He said, listeners, please take note. This is a rebuild. It would take several years to return to prominence. I've lived through this since 1961. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, you have.
Oh, Earl, you got me beat. I started following in like 77, 76, 77, 78, right in there. Me and that guy right there, we had to watch The Miracle in the Meadowlands. I was 9 years old or so, but oh my God, that was brutal.
Shout out to Venture Skills. Shout out to all the new people in the chat. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That helps out the channel. And like I said, me and Joe, we're going to give you our opinions. Nothing set in stone. All opinions are welcome. That's why we're always looking into the chat to see exactly what the people are talking about. And we love interacting with you guys, for sure.
Yes. You're what makes this thing grow.
Welcome to the chat. He says, can we get back to a 4-2D
division? 4-2 division.
4-2 division.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be optimistic. If we get this offensive line together, and I really think this guy wants to build around Daniel Jones, Kevin T. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I think Dabo's the guy. Because that'll be the only guy that can actually build a system around for Daniel Jones, because Flores, all the other candidates, they really don't have an offensive system to bring over with them. So you will have to hire a pretty darn good offensive coordinator. But yeah, I could see that happening, because the Cowboys are going to lose a lot of talent. The
Yes.
Eagles, we always play well with the Eagles. Now, don't sleep on the Eagles. They have 3 first-round picks. If they get it right this year, they could be a pretty good team, even with Jalen Hurts back there. And when we're always on par with the football team, so yeah, I can see it. I can see it, Kevin T.
Yep.
Raymond Gonzalez, he says, Schoen said the Giants have 11 picks, but I only know of 9. What picks am I missing? 5th, 7th, 36, 67, 81, 108, 145, and 181. They must be planning on getting some compensatory picks for Evan Ingram and Jabril Peppers. I guess that's what they mean by that, because both of them are not under contract. Unless, I don't know, it might just be a mishap on his part, but if he's counting the Peppers compensatory pick and a Ingram compensatory pick, that's what he's talking about.
I don't know if that would be for the following year. I don't know. We'll have to look into that, though, guys, because I'm missing it, too.
Yeah, because I only think about having 9 picks, too. But thank you, Ramon, for coming into the chat, man. Love answering you guys' questions. Daniel C. says, I would trust Schoen. Yeah, we have no choice but to trust Schoen. He's a New York Giant.
We got to start getting that right.
Shane. Yeah, we got to get that right. It's Shane, Joe Shane.
You're right.
Daniel C., thank you for tuning into the chat, man. And hit that like and subscribe button. Yo, what's good? We all know who you are, bro. He says, y'all also on the best Giant content creators on here. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Floyd, we know who Floyd is. Didn't want to give a timeline, meaning it's going to be a rebuild. Exactly. Shout out to 81 in the chat. He says, didn't want to give a timeline, meaning it's going to be a rebuild. That's exactly right, Floyd.
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly what I got out of it. You got to believe that this is going to be a rebuild. This is not going to be a one-year thing. If it happens, I'll be ecstatic. But I'm not coming into this year being like, oh, we have to make it to the playoffs or Joe Shane is dirt. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. This is about patience. This is about the long game with this process. We are an absolute mess. So you cannot expect somebody to come in here and change that immediately. So thank you for the comment, Floyd. Yes. Earl says, thanks, Pat. You have been real between the lines. Y.A. Tittle was the QB. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. You have to read between the lines. King Tones, he said, we welcome you.
Yes, welcome everybody, man.
Man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm actually having fun. I'm going through all these chats.
Go for it.
Daniel C says, same with the front office. Can't fire everyone in 5 days. We'll take time to find the people who fits his plans and thinking. Yes, we will. Guarantee we will. Joe, if you want to go on about that real quick.
You know, he's absolutely right here. He wants to make sure he gives people a chance because, like he said, I was involved in the front office when a new GM or regime came in. And he said, sometimes you miss out on talent because you're quick with that button of fire. Well, you don't want to lose your talent the same way you don't want to lose your talent to free agency. So it's if you've got a guy there that's been scouting, because we don't know what goes on in the scout room, but he's been harping for these guys. It's all on paper. They've got lists of who wants who, and it's all kept on file. He's like, oh, I like this guy, I like this. Well, how did this guy turn out? And they can go back. Well, man, this guy's pretty good at scouting. I want to keep him. This guy, yeah, he's okay. All right, let's develop him a little bit. If we got something here, this other guy, he doesn't just stand a chance. Get rid of him. But that takes time to learn somebody.
Exactly.
That's why it's going to take time for the coaching staff. They got to learn the players. Players got to learn the schemes. This all takes it's not something that you could just, it's like taking a midterm and you haven't been to school in 2 months. Right. You ain't going past it.
Right. All right. Thank you for the question, Daniel C. Earl 14 says, I'm a baby boomer.
Okay. No, I was born in 69, man.
All right. He says, salute Pat and Joe. I trust them already, not being cocky like Dave and Joe. It's a process. Exactly, Marco. Shout out to Marco in the chat. He's always supporting. Ethan, he says, so if you had the choice to pick Hutchinson or Thibodeau, which player would you pick? Now, this is going to be a good question. Almost 90 in the chat, man. You guys hit that like button and subscribe button. Man, this is crazy.
I know.
This is dope, man. I'll do this as long as you keep putting questions in the chat. We're going to answer.
Yes, that's right.
He said, so if you had a choice to pick between Hutchinson and Thibodeau, which player would you pick? Me, I'll go first, and then Joe go. I'm going Hutchinson all day. Reason why? don't take this the wrong way, like me saying Thibodeau is a bad player. No, he's a beast also, but Hutchinson just fits us better as a team. We need somebody that can hold the edge and rush the passer with great presence. Hutchinson does that, man. You look at his film, that guy can hold the edge against any lineman, any tight end, whatever, wherever. He's good against the run and the pass. And I think he's going to be elite in both of them and to give him about 2 years. The thing is with Thibodeau, I've seen him in the run game, and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with him in the run game. And I think Hutchinson pass rushing ability is not that far off from Thibodeau. So that's why I'm going with Hutch. Joe, what do you think about that?
I agree. Hutchinson's a 3-down edge. Automatically first day in the NFL. Thibodeau definitely needs some work on setting the edge, the run game, staying home, not getting washed out of the play. Unfortunately, I think another year in college would have done Thibodeau better with that. But you know what? He's already a census #1 pick, top 5 pick. So I'm not going to blame him for coming out. But as far as a learning curve, whoever gets Thibodeau, I mean, he's definitely got pass moves. You want a pass rusher, Thibodeau's #1. When it comes to swim, getting around on a 3rd down and 7, 3rd down and 9, he's going to get to the quarterback. He's going to cause chaos. He's going to cause havoc. But as far as, if they run a draw play, he might get washed out a little bit too easy. And then that creates that lane for that guy that can go out into the flat and get the first down that way. So draw plays are really going to be Thibodeau's weakness.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why we choose Hutch over Thibodeau. So good question, Ethan. Blue City says, John Mayer just said we are not trading for Deshaun Watson. I can pretty much guarantee that they're not going to do that. If they want to build, if the plan is to build, then Deshaun Watson is not coming. You get Deshaun Watson when you want to win right now.
Right.
You get a Russell Wilson when you want to win right now.
Right now.
That's just we're just not in a position to do that. Those are great quarterbacks. Don't get it twisted. Both are probably going to be Hall of Famers, especially Russell Wilson. He's a Hall of Famer in my book, but you don't bring a Hall of Famer to your team to rebuild. I'm sorry. You just don't do that.
Right.
Kevin T said 4-2 defense. 4-2, or are you saying a 4?
Oh, 4-2. Oh, the question was a 4-2 defense he wants to run, not 4-2 in the division. I got that wrong. He asked that question up above. Can we go back to a 4-2? He wants, well, it'd be a 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
Or 4-2 if you're running a nickel back. Okay, that's what he was saying. Okay.
It just depends. We don't have the personnel to do it, but if they see a vision of running a 4-3, that's what we'll be running.
If we get Wink Martindale, he runs a 3-4.
Yeah, he does.
So that's 4-2-5. Yep, that's
that could be a possibility with Wink as well.
Yeah.
Daniel C says defense is better than offense.
Yep.
Yeah. In my book, yeah, if you have a great defense, you can win just about any game if you have a great defense. And offense is very essential as well, as you can see what we did this year. He says, Vintage Skills, thank you. New to the chat, man. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. He says, Hamilton at 5 and Linderbaum at 7, but it's still early. After the combine, we'll know a lot more. Me and Joe have both been saying that for the longest. After the combine, we'll know exactly what we got going with these picks and everything, because those combines, those 40 times, everything, those things are overrated, man. So they're going to push a lot of people up. Hopefully that pushes a lot of quarterbacks up, and we're not willing to take them, and we trade back and get a king's ransom for one of the 5 or the 7 pick.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But good observation, Vintage. Daniel C, he said offense a huge reason they don't win with how bad it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Straight up. Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon. That's all I got to say.
Right.
Mike Nixon, what's going on, bro? Thank you for tuning in, Mike. He says Pat Leonard just tweeted that John Mayer said we're not training for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, somebody said Blue City said that earlier. He said they traded some picks for 7th rounders. Earl, he says, I would cry if Dallas gets Nakobe Dean.
Okay.
He and Parsons would be very dangerous. Yes, that would be a dangerous linebacking tandem. I'm not going to lie to you. That would be absolutely vicious. He says the spelling is odd. Yeah, it is. Schoen is Shane.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does this press conference make you more confident that DJ will be our next QB next year, or is drafting QB still on the table? I think both options are still on the table, Deception.
Yep.
But I think he let it slip out a little bit too. He said we want to build a system around Daniel Jones. So that's telling me that he likes the kid and he wants to see what the kid has. And that's what leads me to believe that Dabo is coming over, because that system does fit Daniel Jones when you look at that system. I'm telling you, it does. Not saying Daniel Jones is Josh Allen. Don't quote me on saying that. I'm not saying that. But he does have the characteristics to run that system the way they run over there in Buffalo. He's fast, he's big, he's strong. He has a stronger arm than people gave him credit for. And I think he could be very accurate when he has time in that pocket.
Yep.
So let's build an offensive line and let's get a system around him. Prince Sincere, thank you for tuning in, bro. I like the fit, man. That's what's up. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. He says, who's gonna be our next coach? Joe, take it over.
Man, look, okay, Dabo's got the second interview. Usually when you get the second interview, that's a telling tale. But we've got interviews all the way up until Friday. Let's see if another guy gets a second interview. If another guy, they come out Saturday, say we're going to give this guy a second, whether it's Flores or whoever, that's what we're going to have to wait on. If nobody else gets a second interview, I'm going to say it's Dabo.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how Shane got the second interview, and then he got to be our GM. So that's kind of telling.
All right. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Dabo as well, man, for sure. I think he said it when they said they wanted to build a system around Daniel Jones. That's the only coach that's available out there that has a system that people are looking at and that can actually fit Daniel Jones. Every other coach, they don't really have a system. They will have to bring an offensive coordinator with them. So let's see.
Right.
Daniel C, man. Thank you, Daniel C, man. I think we got another loyal fan.
Nice.
He says, I like Devin Lloyd, Utah. Yeah. Devin Lloyd in Utah is an absolute beast.
Yes, he is.
We have a show called The Pick Is In. We're going to be doing a lot of draft prospects. We already done offensive tackles and a defensive edge rusher.
Edges.
So, I mean, yeah. Tune in to The Pick Is In, man. That's a good show. We love breaking down prospects, and that guy is going to be one of the funnest ones to break down. He's an absolute beast.
Right.
All right, Anthony Disler. Oh, nice pick. He says, and it should be a rebuild roster is garbage. Yeah, it should be a rebuild. It has to be a rebuild. There's no other way it should not be a rebuild. This is what this roster needs. This is what this organization needs. We never did a true rebuild. We tried to rebuild while winning with Eli Manning. It didn't work.
Yes.
Everybody expected Joe Judge to fix everything in 2 years. It's not going to work.
I'll be right back, fellas.
And so this has to be an absolute rebuild. This has to be a rebuild. So shout out to Anthony Disler. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Carlos Sanchez, guess we aren't trading for Watson. It's official. We aren't. Yes, we are not trading for Deshaun Watson. I know a lot of fans are going to be disappointed, but that move right there, I know everybody would love to see Deshaun Watson as a Giant, but that move right there says that we are going to win now, and we're not in a win now mood. We're in a rebuild mode. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do that, but I'm kind of glad we won't, because we need to rebuild this roster, and we won't be able to do that bringing in Deshaun Watson. All right, Sean acknowledged it will take time, and it starts with fixing of the salary cap. Exactly. That's why I think Kevin Abrams' job is still going to be here, because he was the cap guy. He never was a general manager candidate, man, to be honest with you. I think Abrams only would have got the job if Joe Judge was still here. Kevin Abrams is a cap guy. That's what they pay him to do. So it makes sense to keep him around, to keep the cap the way it is. And let's see if he can restructure some contracts. And based off the press conference, I believe they're going to make a lot of cuts, to be honest with you. I think they're going to make a lot of cuts and get some people in here who they believe can fit a system that they bring in. Earl says, as the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Exactly.
Right.
King Tone, he says, please give him time. I am so tired of getting rid of this guy and that guy.
Yes.
Same thing, me and this guy, my co-host here, have been preaching for the past, 6 months?
Yeah.
Whoever you brought in here, we told you that it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Look for a 2 to 3 year rebuild.
Yes.
And I say at the very best, year 2, we may be in the playoffs. That's just me being very optimistic. So, but don't come out next year and think that we're supposed to be 12-5 just because we got a new GM and a new head coach. It don't work that way. It takes time. You heard what he said. It took the Bills 3 years just to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
It took the Bengals 4 years just to get in the playoffs. 3 years with Taylor. The rebuild did not just start when they drafted Joe Burrow. It happened before Joe Burrow got there. They were rebuilding. And guess what? They're in the AFC Championship game. If they lose, guess what? I think they get back, because if they get offensive lineman for Joe Burrow, who's stopping that offense?
Right.
So if everything goes to plans, 5 years, they may have a chance to be in the Super Bowl because they stuck with Zach Taylor at coach because he had a vision and they got it done. Everybody clowned them, including me, for not taking Penny Soul when they took Jamar Chase, but they had the vision to be like, hey, look, Joe Burrow worked great with this guy, Jamar Chase. And
right.
To take our offense over the top, and it did. It's
right.
like they never left each other. They're doing the same thing in the pros they did in college. The same exact thing, killing people. So it takes time. He said the spray will be better next year. Hopefully so. Sonny D, what's going on? He said the salary cap will be better next year. Thanks, Amalex. It will be better next year, man. We're gonna get it together with the salary cap and everything. Hutch, he says Hutch. Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel C. Giants need to get a good linebacker. Yes, and I wouldn't be mad if we took Devin Lloyd at 7. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He said, give me Kavion Tibbs. I wouldn't be mad with him either, but I like Hutchinson better, Floyd. Everybody knows I'm a Hutchinson guy, so no shot at Thibodeau. Super Taj, what's going on? He said a lot of Giants fans pissed off about them shutting down the Watson rumors.
Yeah, I believe
it's going to happen like that. Daniel C, man, I'm going to have to invite you to pick his end. He says, I like Ojabo. Yes, Ojabo's a sleeper in my book. I think he could get in that top 10. I'm not going to lie to you. He says, how would you feel if the Giants take Tyler Linderbaum? Joe, I'm going to let you answer this one. Everybody knows how I feel about Tyler Linderbaum.
Man, I'll tell you what, Tyler Linderbaum, here's a guy that the experts are already saying he's too small, he's too underweight, he's not the same stuff we heard about Andrew Thomas when we picked him at 4. The same stuff's being said about Linderbaum right now. If you guys watch any of his highlights, this man was 30 yards downfield, keeping up with the running back, throwing blocks and haymakers left and right, and getting that guy down the field. He never gives up. He's always fighting. He has good leverage. And there's a video out of him beating, I think it's Tristan Wirfs in high school wrestling.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs.
He rolled him over and pinned him. This guy knows how to have leverage. This guy knows how to set his feet. This guy knows how to call out blocking schemes. Whether the guy's picking up or not, that's another story. That I've watched 3 or 4 live games with that man right there, and I've been screaming for him ever since I saw his first game. Look, you can say he's too small, but when you got a center who's 6'2", that creates a throwing lane for somebody that's 6'5". You can see over his head.
Exactly.
Okay, and not only that, when you got a guy like that can wash to the left and to the right and create that throwing lane in the middle of the field, that way if we can get a decent, like Weidermeyer, a good tight end, we've got to have a good tight end. We got to have a security blanket for Daniel Jones, whoever else the quarterback is. But Tyler Linderbaum could be the anchor of that offense for the next 12 years.
Exactly.
And if we get him in and we get rid of Daniel Jones, Tyler Linderbaum has 1 year underneath this this coaching staff scheme. He's going to know the plays. He's going to know the blocking. He's going to know the concepts. He's already established that he can help out a rookie quarterback behind him and say, "Okay, you got this." That's what he's there for. That Jeff Saturday was the most important lineman for Peyton Manning, and you got to have a really good and true center so that helps your quarterback out.
Exactly. Good answer to that question. He says Pat Leonard has tweeted. Mara said we are not trading for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he says he won't be there at 5. Are you talking about Hutchinson or Thibodeau? He's talking about either Hutchinson or Thibodeau.
Yep.
Deception. And he says, I think Carl Loftus doesn't get enough credit. Hey, look, that's another riser on my board. If that man has a great combine, look out. Look out, because I'm telling you, he can jump. Y'all ain't gonna believe it, but you might see Thibodeau go off the board number 3 or 4 at the edge position if these guys have good combines. Me, Joe, we've seen it. We've seen guys boost up draft boards just because of a good combine. Not saying they're better than the guy, but they just got better combine stats. And Karlaftis, I will say this, he's very talented as well. Very talented. He can bull rush, he can pass rush, he stops the run well. I wouldn't be mad with him either. I'll just be honest with you. He says Karlaftis is talented too. Yes, he is. Daniel C., thank you for being in the chat the way you are, bro.
Yes.
King Tone, he said, yes, sir, Hutchinson all day. Yeah, I'm a Hutchinson guy, King Tone. You know that. Earl, what's going on, Earl? He said, I'm so glad you have gone to the chat. You guys have a solid following. Joe, look at Pat's mock drafts. All have different variations, but all have addressed the Giants' needs and includes logical trades. Exactly. Yes. That's what I try to bring to you. Shout out to the 95 in the chat. Please hit that like and subscribe button for us.
Please, yes.
Please hit that like button for us, man. It helps out the channel and lets us bring this content to you guys. I'm enjoying answering these questions. You keep bringing on, keep answering. Real talk.
Right.
This is dope. He says, I thought we had 9 draft picks. He kept saying we have 11 draft picks, which is right. To my knowledge, we only have 9, so I don't know where he's getting the 11 from. Maybe he's counting some picks that we traded earlier in the season, and because he's been with the Bills and he just came to us. So that's a simple mistake that he probably has done.
Right.
Or he's counting compensatory picks. I don't know. But as far as I know, guys, we got 9 picks. If you guys have any information out there that you know, man, please put it in the chat, man. We'll get it get it out to you. Ramon, what's going on? He's back. He's been in the chat for a little while too. He says, I know we need a lot of help, but my judging of Schoen will be he rebuilding the offensive line. I am so we need to get a Neal or Equanu and Linderbaum with first 2 picks. Joe, take that one for me. Man,
I tell you what, if we could get Equanu, he's plug and play at any position. You put let's imagine this. Okay, we put Linderbaum at center, Equanu at left guard, Thomas at left tackle. The entire middle to the left side of the line, that's our road graders, baby. That's who Barkley's going to run behind. That's going to be the dominant side of that offensive line. And then if we can get some draft capital and we can get a right guard and a right tackle, I don't know about Lemieux. Okay, he's hurt. Is this staff going to like him? I don't know. Lemieux is great in run blocking, but his pass pro is suffering. He's hopefully he works on that this offseason. Well, Pert, I think Lemieux and Pert might be depth. That's what I'm thinking, because Equanu just has a nastiness to him. He just keeps pushing people till the whistle. He doesn't give up on a play. He doesn't just hit a guy and let him go. He's just all the time right through there. He just grabs and goes and he wants to put you on the ground. That's what that guy wants to do. Linderbaum's the same way. He wants to put you on the ground when he's blocking on a run. So let's say we do get a right tackle, and then we take maybe our 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds. And I'll tell you what, this offensive line class, once you get outside of the 2nd, 3rd round, it drops off dramatically. I mean, these guys are going to be a lot of projects. There's a lot of projects, but you know what? That's what we're going to have to do because we're not going to have the free agent money. So don't expect us getting very many free agent experienced offensive linemen in here, but that's also going to take time for these guys to gel. It's going to take 4 to 6 games for that offensive line to click. And we saw that in a couple of places. Kansas City was below 500 the first part of the season, and then that offensive line clicked, and then they started dominating again. This is just part of the rebuilding process. So they're going to probably, let's look at line. Let's get that fixed. But I'm not going to be mad. If we're at pick 5 and Hutchinson's on that board, and they take Aiden Hutchinson at number 5, I am in no way, shape, or form going to be upset at anything. I will be upset if they don't take him because that guy is just, to me, that good. He's that one guy that's on the board that you go, yeah, he's there. I'm grabbing him no matter what. But as far as Aquanu and Linderbaum, yeah, I'm all for that. Sorry for turning my camera on and off. My internet's glitching. I don't know if they're working on it or what.
Earl said the 4.25. We can see if we can get back to the 4.25. Earl, he says Edward Gladney, thank you for joining the chat. He says if a tight end or John Mechie III is there in the 4th round, would you take either? I got one answer. Hell yes. John Mechie III in the 4th round is an absolute steal. And unfortunately, he had that unfortunate injury. But once he comes back to play for us, he'll be an absolute steal. And me and Joe, we've been talking about this. The tight ends is one of the most essential positions for a quarterback to succeed. I want you guys to challenge yourselves. Name any Hall of Fame quarterback that didn't have a good tight end once upon a time in his career. There's not too many of them. And that's going all the way back to the early 70s with Dan Fouts and them. Just think about it. How many Hall of Fame quarterbacks got Super Bowl rings and everything without a good tight end? I'm not saying a Hall of Fame. I'm just talking about a good, dependable tight end. Name them. All right, Earl says, I'm all in on Wink Martindale. I like Wink too. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
NYC TV NYC says, when Washington trade for Deshaun Watson, watch us cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it because I welcome the challenge. I'm the type of guy I want to beat the best. So if he goes to Washington, so be it. But I tell you what, Washington will be in catastrophe after doing that, because they won't be able to sign all that defense back, and they won't be able to put too many pieces around Deshaun Watson because their cap situation is not that great either.
Right.
But they will be a very good team, and they will have to do it very soon. So I will welcome it. I mean, Joe says it. Not to poo-poo Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson led the league in passing yards. They got 4 victories last year. How many victories did they get this year? They got 4.
4.
So they got the same amount of victories without Deshaun Watson. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to welcome the challenge, NYC, for real. Earl says the 4-3-4, a.k.a. cover 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll bring some people on in a little bit after we get done answering all these questions and everything. We'll bring a couple of people on.
Definitely.
Mike, for sure. All right. Big Floyd says, so it looks like we're not getting a QB. Build the O-line and see how DJ plays. Wouldn't mind drafting a receiver in the 1st and a tight end in the 3rd because our weapons case stay healthy. Now, this is a situation that I brought up last night, and I became the bad guy.
Yep.
So somebody out there is thinking the same way. I'm not particularly thinking receiver in the 1st round, but Floyd, just to give you an answer on yours, look up Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State Buckeyes. If we bring Dabo over and we draft him in the 1st round, I know why they did it. The guy reminds me of Stephon Diggs so much. And the tight end in the 3rd round, I wouldn't mind us using 2 picks. Get one in the 3rd round and one of our 4th round picks to get a tight end. I'll get you on that, brother. Real talk. But I came up with that same situation last night, and I was getting hammered.
But you were getting hammered, but I mean, people weren't too happy with that, especially after last year we missed on Parsons and took a wide receiver. So there's a little bit of anguish from last year carryover too.
Right. King Toe says it is what it is if Dallas gets him. I mean, he must be talking about the comment about NYC.
No,
He
he's
said if
talking about
Washington,
Nakobe Dean to Dallas.
Nakobe Dean. No, oh, Nakobe. Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
I'm not. I mean, it'd be a damn good linebacker tandem. I ain't gonna lie
Right.
to you.
Right.
Craig Robinson, thank you for coming into the chat, man. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to both channels. I got Joe's channel pinned in the comments, so it'll be at the very top of the comments. You'll be able to click that link and subscribe to my good co-host to my right, man. He's always here with me.
Thank you.
He says drafting a QB isn't an option. There are 0 QBs that are worth a pick.
I agree.
My sentiments exactly. But I'll give you a surprise. The best quarterback in this draft is Sam Howell from North Carolina. You're going to think I'm crazy, but look at the film. That's the best quarterback in this draft. And he fits Pittsburgh perfectly.
I can't wait to break down film.
Gordon Miller, he says, born 1963, not impressed so far in Shane. Gordon, if you can, mention why you're not impressed with him. And I would say the same thing if you were impressed with him, mention it, because this is just his first press conference. Right. So I can't get a great impression on the guy, and it's just his first press conference. I mean, I got to see what he does as far as making moves. When he starts making moves, when he starts signing people, when he starts drafting people, then I could say I'm impressed or not impressed. I can't go off of a press conference. That's what we did last time, and look what happened. So it's just a press conference. Let's give a guy a chance to make some actual GM moves. Let's see who he hires as head coach. Let's see who he brings in as defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Let's see who he picks up in the draft. Let's see if he stays true to his word and say he builds a system around Daniel Jones. Let's see if Marinell gives him the chance to bring in the pieces. So, I mean, it's a lot of factors into that, but I can't be mad if you're not impressed with the guy in his first interview. Maybe it's something the way he looks. Maybe it was the nervousness in the press conference that you didn't like. I would love to hear what you don't like about him, but I just feel that it takes time. You got to see this guy make some moves. To be honest with you, Gordon Miller. Thanks for the chat, though, Gordon. Earl says, thumbs up, guys. Press that button. Thanks, Earl.
Appreciate it.
Craig Robinson back again. He says, there you go. Get that line together and things will change. Don't forget, we should be able to run the ball, and Barkley will be running for his football life.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, let's say we get an offensive line in here and Barkley has a 1,200-yard season because he's finally able to run into some bigger holes. Let's say Daniel Jones throws for 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns or 30 touchdowns, and his offense looks great. And his defense stays around the same because we brought in Wink Martindale. That could very well happen, and that can very well happen this year or next year. Now, this year, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to let Joe take it over after this one, but I'm going to be honest with you. I see us winning 6, 7, 8 games this coming up year. But if they put a system around Daniel Jones and he starts to play very well, don't be surprised if we sneak in there like the Eagles did this year.
Please work. Thank you. Well, here's the thing with this, Pat. If you look at Dabble, he's never had a running back like Barkley.
No, he hasn't.
Okay, so I'm sure if he's the head coach, he might have plans for Barkley. All right, he's never had a playmaker with Barkley's talent. And Buffalo doesn't really have that good of a run game. But let's also remember Dabble likes to throw the ball too. I mean, some of his concepts and schemes and routes are phenomenal. Look at the game plan he had for the final 2 minutes against the Kansas City Chiefs. He was scheming guys open. He knew what would beat guys, and you didn't see that early on in the game. And then the Bills, the first 3-4 drives, they were blah. Let's call it what it is. And then all of a sudden, he just started changing things up. He saw what the defense was doing. He schemed. The guy thought on his feet. He was real quick. This was an important game. Got him back into it. He let Josh Allen go out there and make plays. You know, he coached Josh Allen up good enough. Look, I mean, Josh Allen now is probably a top 3 quarterback, and he ain't third, okay? I'm sure a lot of people are good after that game. Come on, you got to give that guy his due. I was not big on Josh Allen, but you know what? After watching what he did there and with Dabble in that scheme, because it's a defense that let that team down. The defense, the coordinator, you do not run that kind of a defense when you got all that speed on Kansas City. You've got to bump them. You know, you could play a little bit off, 10 yards off, not let them get behind you, even with a 3-high safety look, okay? But you should not have been doing that. I'm sorry, but the Frazier's the one that lost that game for the Bills. And now we're interviewing him, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want him at all. I really don't. But you get Dabble in here, let him run the offense. Ken Dorsey's rumored to come over with him. He's the quarterback's coach up there right now. He's been working with Josh Allen. And then you let the defense, let Wink Martindale run that defense because that's the rumors, okay? I'm going to be 100% with that. I think they're going to be implementing schemes for everybody, and I think we're actually look, I mean, we all agree if we fix the O-line, we're going to be a much better team. I'm going to predict 500 ball club. Just 5. Yeah, we want to run the ball. That's what New York Giants is. Winning football games in January, February, you run the football. So that's I think Dabble's got plans. And people say, well, look, Dabble didn't do that good, 10 years ago or 5 years ago. Okay. Look, he grew, he developed. I mean, how good are you when you first go into a new job?
Exactly.
Do you improve and develop year after year after year and get better at it, and you learn it and you can almost come in and do it in your sleep, right? But if you went and got another job, it's going to take you a little bit to get acclimated to that, right? Well, that's what's going on with the Giants and everything right now. Everybody has to just get acclimated. And he grew and he learned from his mistakes and he's creating a better offense. The Bills fans say it got kind of bland. Well, did it get bland or did just guys not produce? Was it too complicated? Was it not complicated enough? Was it easy for the defense to read? Did he try to dumb it down for some people because of injuries? Because when you got your second, third stringers out there, man, you cannot run your number one offense. You can't run your top plays because it might be too complicated for those guys to learn. They might not have the skill set to be able to pull, block, trap, whatever it is. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Exactly. Alex, what's going on? Big Blue in the Bronx. Subscribe to Big Blue in the Bronx as well. Says Leslie Frazier has his second interview Friday. Yes, he does. Pat Barrio says the same thing. Frazier got the second interview. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of don't want that guy here, just to be honest with you, but we'll see. He says, Joe Shane, I believe in drafting, developing, and retaining our own. Love that quote. That's been the thing that we've been crying for our people to do for how long?
Right.
Do good drafting, develop players, and retain those good drafted, developed players. Love that quote as well, Alex. Couldn't say it any better. He says, I'm all in with you, Big Pat. Thanks,
nice.
Rob.
Nice.
Rob's always here, man. Great guy. Blue City, he says, Pat and Joe and managing New York Giants take Evan Neal at 5 and Linderbaum at 7. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at that. Wouldn't be mad at that. But I would want that Evan Neal to be Equanu, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't be mad at Evan Neal at all. Right. He says, Gordon Miller, what do you want? Vince Lombardi is no longer around. All right. He says, means nothing. We know who the head coach will be. They just have to go through the motions. Yeah, I think Brian Dabo is ultimately going to be the head coach. Definitely. Danny Maida, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but Danny Maida, he says, need to drop down a few spots in round 1 with those picks. Pick up 2 or 3 more picks in rounds 2 and 3. Need to rebuild this roster in this draft. I'm not against that at all, man. If you look at my mock drafts, I have us trading down a couple of times and still getting some good players in the process. So hopefully that can happen. Hopefully somebody offers us a king ransom because they just want Malik Willis that bad to where they'll give us 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and maybe a 5th-round pick or something. I'm taking that trade in a heartbeat every time, Danny. So, yes, I hope we could get that done as well. Big Rob back in the chat, he says, Frazier, I want to give him a first interview with what happened Sunday night.
I agree.
Yeah, I tend to don't want to base anybody off one thing, but, man, that just looks bad, man.
Right.
And then what's the offensive plan with Frazier? That's my thing.
Right.
Hey, he says that Big Blue in the Bronx. I agree. Exactly. Big Rob, nothing works without an O-line. Exactly. Yep. We've been saying it for months. G Nation Inside Sports has been saying it for months. The Miz has been saying it for months.
Yep.
Shoot, the Big Blue Crew has been saying it for months. So he said J Productions. He said at least Jones our QB.
Oh, yeah. another guy that likes DJ. Yes, go DJ. I think the guy's got talent.
Yeah, I think he does too. He says it will be very interesting with what tough decisions he would do to make cap room. And speaking of that, we can do that right now. Ramon, thank you for tuning in. Let's try to see what he can do with that right now. All right, can everybody see? Can you see the screen, Joe? Let me try to make that a little bigger for the people.
Oh, wait a minute here.
All right, Joe, can you see that a little better? Yeah, you can see it a little better.
Yeah, you might have to hit Control Plus once or twice to blow it up so everybody else can see it.
Yeah, shoot, I hit Control Plus anymore. I won't be able to see it. Yeah.
There you go. That's good. And then close out.
I can't see it.
You can't? We'll back it off one and see what happens. There you go.
All right. So the question was asked. It would be very interesting with what tough decisions he would do to make cap room. So I just brought up the cap room for you. Leonard Williams. He's hit $27.3 million against the cap, but he has a $35 million cap hit. So you can't do anything with him unless you restructure his salary, which they can, to make his salary, his cap hit go down to about 17 to 18 million or 20 million. You can say about 7 million with Leonard Williams. Bradbury. This is the guy that me and Joe said that might be cut, that a lot of people are saying, nah, you're not going to cut him. You say $12 million if you cut James Bradbury. I asked the chat now, has Bradbury been playing well enough for to where you say, I don't want him cut? Has he been playing that well to where you say, I don't want him cut? When we got Aaron Robinson, we got Rodarius Williams, we got Darnay Holmes, we got a lot of people here.
Yes.
If Bradbury saves you $12 million, I think they do it.
Restructure Leo.
Yeah, restructure Leo. I think they save about $7 million there. You cut Bradbury, you save about $12 million there. That's $19 million. Kenny Galladay, I don't know what they could do with him. Maybe try to restructure him. Who knows? Dory Jackson, I think he's set. You're not going to do anything with him. Now, this is the guy that's in limbo. With Blake Martinez, you save $8.5 million if you cut him. So that brings that $19 million up to $27.5 million if you cut Blake Martinez. But you could restructure him and keep him on this team. So a lot of people will want to cut Blake Martinez. I don't know. If you do, that's $27 million. Logan Ryan. You can save a little bit with Logan Ryan. I think they restructure him. Not doing anything with Andrew Thomas or Daniel Jones. Kyle Rudolph, you save $5 million there if you cut him.
Well, just real quick, Pat, on the Daniel Jones thing, per Mark Garofolo, Giants co-owner John Mara on Daniel Jones. We do feel Daniel can play. We've done everything possible to screw this kid up. End quote.
So that means they admit that they've done him wrong.
Right.
So Daniel Jones will be here to stay, and I'm telling you, Brian Dabo is the. I'm telling you, man. Yes. I think that's the coach, man. I think that's the coach, and they're gonna try to build that system around Daniel Jones. Let's see what he does. But it sounds like Daniel Jones is here to stay, people. You save $5 million by cutting Rudolph. You actually save $3 million by cutting Dixon, the punter. You're not doing anything with Lawrence. You're not doing anything with Graham Gano. Nothing with Kadarius Toney. But the punter, this man is $3.5 million on the cap, but he only had a $300,000 dead cap. They cut him and saved 3.5 million by cutting him. Or 3.2 million by cutting him. You cut him immediately. Nick Gates, I know everybody loves him. You save 2.2 million by cutting him. Booker, if you want to cut him, you save 2 million. So I mean, there's plenty of ways we can actually save cap room, guys.
Yes.
They just have to take the dead cap, and Mayor's already came out and said that he's willing to take on a dead cap hit in order to build this roster. So just wanted to show you guys that quick. Let me get back to the comment section. Michael I'm sorry, I'm just call you Michael. The way Joe Schoen was talking about salary cap, a lot of players are going to be cut. Yes, we have been saying this.
Yep.
Your favorite guy on this team may be cut.
Yes.
You don't know. We don't know. It's a whole new regime. It's the world of the unknown. But I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you for commenting, Michael. Hit that like and subscribe button for me. Oh, we might got another one, Joe. Vintage keeps commenting. He says, McKinney, Aziz, Thomas, and Tony are our building blocks. I love a combo of Hamilton and McKinney at safety, game changers. That would be absolutely devastating.
Yes.
I would like those two there, but Vintage, let us know in the chat. Would you be willing to give up would you be willing to make that Hamilton pick with the number 5 on the number 7 pick?
Right.
That's the thing. Because if Kwanu and Linderbaum or Neal or Cross or anybody's there, would you take Hamilton over those guys? Let me know. Kevin T, welcome back. He says, hopefully they hire the right head coach. Hopefully they do it. Hopefully they let Joe Schoen do it. That's the only thing I didn't like about that press conference when he said everybody, all of them would be involved. Let that guy have his carte blanche and let him do what he has to do. Mike Nixon, what's going on, Mike? He says, I love that he said he wants to build through the draft and he uses free agency as to like for death. Not saying they won't ever get the big fish through free agency. True. I like he said that as well because he was being honest. That was honesty. That was pure honesty. He said, yeah, we'll go through free agency to get some pieces that we like, but we want to build through the draft.
Right.
So that was honesty. I can take that.
And that's a process.
Exactly. He says, no headaches on this roster, Pat. Hey, real talk. No headaches. Only if he's a headache like LT, because I'll take that migraine all day.
You damn Skippy. You damn Skippy.
LT will have you head hurting, but go out there and get 4 sacks and force a fumble. So, hey, Super Taj, it says it's going to take time. Yes, it is. It says Joe Schoen on the O-line just now in an interview. Yeah, he did an interview earlier today. He might be doing interviews all throughout the day. You know, the Giants fan base is
I saw Miz put he's on WFAN and everything, so he's still doing the media coverage thing. Mm-hmm. I also saw where he was in the practice, the Inside Dome, and he was doing, I think it was Kim Jones or one of those reporters. Mm-hmm. So he's still doing media coverage all day.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of media all day.
A lot of quotes coming out from him. Nick Joe, that's why I'm going to be checking Twitter here constantly.
Yeah, thank you for the info, Alex. Always with it. Don't forget to subscribe to Big Blue in the Bronx. Yes. Big Blue in the Bronx. Again, Alex, he says if you want to see Daniel Jones put his best foot forward, he's got to be on his feet. If you want to see Saquon can do it, if you want to see what Saquon can do, it would be nice if we could get guys that can block. True.
Yes.
We've been saying this for months now. It's true. You got to put an offensive line in front of these guys and see what we had. The worst thing, and Joe just said, Mayor just said it. We've done everything to screw this kid up.
Right.
You have put no offensive line in front of him. You threw him in too early. You took away his offensive coordinator year after year.
Yep.
You took him away from Pat Sherman. Then you gave him Jason Garrett, who was not in line with Joe Judge. So who knows what game plans Jason Garrett was coming up with. He was probably just throwing that kid out there to the wolves. He turned him into a one-read quarterback, which he is not, because if you look at his rookie season, he read the field better than he did his second season. Now, this third season, he took it upon himself to try to be the best that he could be, but he was getting killed by this offensive line.
Right.
So we've done him a disservice, and we've done ourselves a disservice by not finding out who this kid really is. And I think we bring in a coach like Dabo to find out who this kid really is. And if he sucks, then we move on. If he does good,
I agree.
Great. We got the pick right.
Right. You
So
got
I
Stroud
can't
and you
wait.
got Stroud and Young next year. So keep an eye on college ball with that. By the way, hook up on my channel. I do a lot of college game days.
Exactly. Big Rob back in the building. He said they're going to cut or adjust salaries. You can't pay 6 guys big money and compete. Exactly.
Right.
So a lot of these guys that you see now may be cut. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Or traded.
Or traded. Coach, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. Yo, what's good? He says, I think Dabo is a lock, but don't sleep on Quinn. Yeah, because the guy actually likes Dan Quinn as well. Just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that was brought up in the thing. Yep, he does know Quinn.
Yep. Jersey Life, what's going on, man? He says, hey family, man, we're chilling, bro. Andrew Goldberg, this is what we've been preaching for the past 5 months. We've taken the heat, but we're gonna keep preaching it. Adam Goldberg, Andrew Goldberg, thank you for going into the chat. Hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. Thank you for the consistent 90 in the chat.
Nice, thank you, man. Without you guys,
dope.
I know. Without you guys, your great questions. We love sitting here talking about this. The great insight that we're getting. Man, that's just helping us out with our content too that's going to be coming out, because we do follow the chat. We take your ideas and we make content out of that. So, you know, you guys are way more important, because without you guys, we're just sitting here talking to each other.
All right, exactly. Andrew Goldberg says, cut Evan Ingram. We don't have to cut Evan Ingram because he's already not under contract. He's a free agent. So just don't resign him.
Right.
Big Earl, he says Abrams will stay. Who do you think Schoen will select for assistant GM? Well, if Abrams will stay, I think that's already his position. Earl, he says if Judge didn't go on his 11-minute diatribe, he'd still be here. He said the same thing about taking time building it. Yeah, he was saying the same things. I just think that all in all, man, I think I don't want to call him the sacrificial lamb, but he was the guy that had to come in when the absolute storm was just at its worst. And I think he took the fire for that. And I don't think any coach coming into a situation that he came into would have succeeded within 2 years, like everybody wanted him to. Do I think he could be a good coach? Yes, but I think it was just time. I think it just became just time for the guy. Maybe it's best for both situations, because maybe he gets a rest now, because you guys in the media were killing him.
Right.
You were killing him, man. But he was preaching some of the same things. I know he knew what he needed to do with this team. It's just that I don't think he had the tools to do it. He never had the tools to do it. So hopefully we give this guy the tools to do it, because he's asked that multiple times and say, hey, look, I just need what I need, the resources I need to get this done. So give Joe Schoen the resources he needs and back off. That's all he wants you to do. Let the guy try.
No.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with you 100%, man. I wish I could add something to that. I can't, because Judge just came into something that was it was so contaminated. It was people were backstabbing each other in the office. You could hear that Gettleman guys were snitching on non-Gettleman guys, to David Gettleman, to, you know, we don't know if Garrett was going behind Judge's back to Mara to get Galladay and some of these other moves that were just frustrating as all hell. There was so much more to it for Judge, a rookie first-time head coach, but he did see it. All right, you guys can say he's whatever he is, but he did try to bring it to light. It did come to light.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can't say it any better than that, man.
Right.
I think the guy never had a fair shot, and sometimes I want to say I'll say a divorce just needs to happen. It just needed to happen for both sides. Yeah, it just needed to happen. He says we don't have to cut Ingram. He's a free agent. This draft is deep with tight ends in the middle rounds. Yes, it is, Earl. Yes, it is. And I'm excited for that. Earl, back to back. He says, I've got a man crush on Linderbaum. As Pat says, we need maulers and road graders. I saw that wrestling video. He is strong. Yes, he is.
He knows leverage.
Let's harp on a little bit of this subject here. Linderbaum's there at 7. We take him. I'm gonna say this. I think a lot of the fans would be kind of that not thinking like us would be kind of mad because they'll say, well, centers are not valued high in drafts. You could have got him at 15.
All I'm going to say is
But,
Quentin Nelson.
Right.
Quentin Nelson was at 6. So taking Linderbaum at 7 is not worth it. You guys want Quentin Nelson. Giants fans are always talking about how we could have had Quentin Nelson. And now we're going to take another Quentin Nelson 2.0 coming out of this into this draft. That's basically what he's rated at as a center. And he's not worth the 7th round pick. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
To the fans, I mean, he might not be valued high to other people, but to us, he might be valued A+, plus. Because he's rated. I mean, would you really want to keep Billy Price at center just because you don't want to take a center high in the draft? Think about that, guys. His value is worth more to us than just about any other team in the league right now, just to be honest with you.
Right.
So, hell yeah, I would take him at 7. Thanks, Earl, for the comment. Danny, he's back. Danny Monty, he says, Watermeyer or McBride, tight end, let's go. I'm with both of them. I'm with both of them. Because McBride is seen as a pass receiving tight end, but that guy will actually stick his nose in the block, and so will Watermeyer. So, let's get both of them if they're both available.
Right. Not to mention that helps out the offensive line too, because they're a part of it.
Yep. He says, you guys think Karlaftis will be all right in a 3-4? I think he's perfect for a 3-4. That's what he does.
Yes.
That's what he does. He's perfect for a 3-4.
And he can set the edge a little bit better than Thibodeau. Look, I'm not shooting Thibodeau down. I'm not. The guy is an excellent third down pass rusher. He's number 1. But when it comes to stopping the run, staying home, setting the edge, and getting in on the tackle, if it comes inside, or he can stop him from hitting the edge and going outside for a big gain, he's just that's what we need. Is we need somebody so that the corner, the safety linebackers can just stay there in coverage and not let them complete that damn pass over the middle to the tight end that kills us all the damn time.
Exactly. So, yeah, Kevin Paul, thank you for tuning in to the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. Thank you for the question, man. But Karlaftis is definitely right for the 3-4. He says, can Jalen Watermeyer block? I like Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin. Can block and catch really well. Watermeyer can block. He's not the best at it, though. He's not like a Jake Ferguson when it comes to blocking. But I can tell you this. Watermeyer is a willing blocker. If you coach him up, he could be a damn good tight end in this league. But the one tight end you guys have not mentioned, and I'm telling you guys, I think he's the best tight end in this class, is Kolar from Iowa State. Big monstrous dude that's faster than you think and can block and can catch in that red zone and can do everything that you need him to do. Kolar, look him up. I'm telling you. Floyd, he says, I don't really like Karlaftis, but that's just me. I mean, man, everybody has their opinion on a guy that they like, for real. I mean, I can't blame you if you don't like Karlaftis, because I'm going to be honest with you. Before I watched extensive film on him, I wasn't a Karlaftis guy either, Floyd. But the more film that I watched, the more that I watch this guy play, this guy has a motor that does not stop. He has power. He has arm length. He has moves. He stops the run very well. He's very good in gap control, and he's very good against RPO. And guess what? We got a lot of RPO players over here in the NFC East. With Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott does it a lot. Who knows what the Washington football team may get? Say if they get Malik Willis. I think he helps us out right there. So Karlaftis can be a very good player for us, man. I'm not mad at the guy. But, I mean, I think he's a better player than people give him credit for. All right. Eric Johnson. Thanks, Eric. He says, good afternoon. I've been a Giant fan since 1967.
Yeah.
Man, you've been in there for the long ride, bro. I've been a Giants fan since 91. So I was 4 years old.
I was 77 was when I started. I wasn't even born yet. 2 years later, I was born.
Right. All right, Earl. He says, "Great point, Joe. His height allows DJs to see up the middle. Get Lindy in here so he can learn the system." Yeah, cool.
Right.
Tim, he says, "I can see Graham staying. I can see him staying too, but I will say this: I will want him to get his fair shake though. And if the Giants really don't want him here, I don't want him here because I think he needs a fair shake.
I know
And
Pittsburgh interviewed him.
Yeah, I would like to see him get the Pittsburgh job. I would have loved to see him get the Minnesota head coaching job, but
Yes.
I want him to get his fair shake because he's earned that. Real talk. He says we're trading Saquon for 2 picks, maybe. I gotta listen to that phone call. I know this is unpopular too, but I gotta listen to that phone call, man. Because if you offer me a high second or a first, most definitely, I'm definitely entertaining that idea. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. He says we got 11 picks. If you can tell me the picks, because right now I only think we have 9.
Right.
But I don't know. He says he's trading back from 1 to 7 to 1 to 14.
Trading.
So you mean saying trade the number 7 pick back to the number 14 pick? I wouldn't mind that if they have a plan in place.
Right.
Take the best available.
Right. See who's on the board.
Mm-hmm. Nate, what's going on, little Nate?
Hey, Nate.
Coach says, what up, Pat and Joe? Devin Lloyd is a really good linebacker. A linebacker that can do everything. A sure tackler. He can also rush. In fact, the quarterback, he can pass, cover, run, silent. Yeah.
Yes.
Devin Lloyd is an absolute beast, man.
Yes, he is. I agree.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd is definitely going to be a great pick. He says Robert Kennard in the round 3. Remember, Kennard's the right tackle from Kentucky. I wouldn't mind him in round 3. But I definitely don't want him playing tackle his first year for sure.
Right. He's got a lot of growth to do.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably be gone in round 2, though.
More than likely in the round 2. All right. He says Andrew Goldberg. Bold prediction. He says bold prediction. Because our schedule is easy next season, our record would be either 6-11 or 7-10 at best. Yeah, I can see us being around there. I also see us being 8-9 or 9-8. We have to see.
Right.
We have to see what's been being built, and we have to see what's going on. Joey, what's going on, Joey? Earl, back in the comments, he says Saquon to the Bills for a 2nd and a 5th. Yes, Equano is my man and a versatile O-lineman. Down the road, if we get a better offensive tackle, I can move to guard. Equano can move to guard. Yeah, Equano can move to guard. He played both guards and both tackle positions, so he can play that. Would you trade Saquon Barkley to the Bills for a 2nd and a 5th round pick? Because you know that pick is low.
Man. I don't know. Does Dabo come here because of Barkley?
That's true too.
That's the only question, guys. Look at Dabo's schemes. He couldn't run the ball in Buffalo because he didn't have a running back. And now look, Booker and Barkley both had the same yards. So he might keep Booker here. All right. He might have a 1-2 punch right there. We don't know what Brightwell is because we didn't see him on the field at all. You know, and then this kid out of Cincinnati, that Ford. If the Giants can get him, man, you know what? And then you let Barkley play 7 games, and you know, let's say we're a good team, but we're not a great team. But let's say Barkley halfway through the season has 600 yards, 8 tutties, and 9 touchdowns. Okay, do you think you could get more for him that way? You think you might be able to get a first for him? This is that razor you're going to walk.
Yeah.
because if look, I mean, do you want to trade him if we are, 2 or 3 games above 500? If we're in a division race, because Barkley's and Booker are that 1-2 punch that we need to keep us winning games and being that above 500 team? That's the only question right now, because we don't know what this offense is going to do. We don't know anything about the head coach or the scheme or the fit. Right now, I did say trade Saquon earlier. I did. But now, after researching some of these coaches, I really don't think Flores is going to come here because he really wants Deshaun Watson. John Mara come out and said, we're not trading for Deshaun Watson. It's a cap room thing, which is what me and Pat have been saying. So, do you want to really get rid of your one weapon? I mean, if you think about it, what's our weapons? Tony, Barkley, who else? You can't even say Galladay's a weapon. He had 0 touchdowns.
All right.
And we want to run the football. We got one of the best running backs considered in the league. Look at that. Look at how he ended the year, man. That was the old Barkley. He's got that. He's right mentally now. Coming into this next season, his head is right. It's a little bit, but you saw that the last couple of games, the way he was running and cutting and bowling. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I'd almost rather keep him right now and see what this team could do.
Exactly. All right. Big Rob, he says Hutchinson was mauled versus Georgia. Sad. He did make some good plays in that game too, though. And the game plan was made to nullify him and Ojabo.
Yes.
Had a game plan coming into that game. So don't read too much into that game and think that Hutchinson is trash. No. He actually made some plays. He actually started going out to those screens and making a tackle himself.
Yes.
Me and Joe actually covered that game. So
he only got washed out one play. He tried to go outside, inside, and then the guy cut and he got washed inside. So
all right. Ramon been in here a lot too. He said, would you be upset if they take Willis with the 7th pick? Joe, I'm gonna let you answer that.
Yes, I would. Okay, look, I'm gonna say it. Not coming at anybody, but Giants fans, fire Gettleman. Giants fans, hey, we fired Gettleman. All right, yeah, beautiful. We didn't fix the old line. Now we're going to draft a quarterback. Everybody was screaming for Gettleman to get fired because he didn't fix. I'm sorry. My internet is acting all sorts. I got to keep the camera off. Look, like I said, I'm not coming at anybody, but we all hollered at Gettleman because he didn't fix the O-line. This year we can fix the O-line, but yeah, everyone's saying we need to draft a quarterback. Let's fix the O-line, get an edge defender, whether it's O-line or edge with them first 2 picks, trade down. I would rather do something in that scenario than try to get a quarterback this year, so that next year, when we're a quarterback away, we've got an offensive line built, we got a defense built, we got a scheme that we know about. We're going to have a better idea of the needs in the players that we're going to have to get to take this to the next level of a playoff team. That's
exactly. So I'm going to answer that question as well, because that's a very good question. It just depends for me. It depends if they bring a system over here and they believe Malik Willis is better fit for that system than Daniel Jones, but they've also made additions to the offensive line and free agency. If they made additions to the offensive line and free agency and they feel that Malik Willis is the better quarterback, I would honestly say that you can trade out that number 7 pick and get him later. But I kind of want to move forward with Daniel Jones, but I'm not going to be super pissed. I'm just going to believe in the process, to be honest with you, because that seems like a process make a move to me. If you do that, you feel that this kid is talented enough to run your system the way you wanted it to be ran, and that's it. You got to trust the process. Hopefully that's a good part of the process and not a wind up having egg on your face process, because that kid is going to have to sit for a year. I promise you that. wherever he goes, unless you build a system exactly for him, like they did with Lamar Jackson, he's going to have to sit for a year. He's going to have to. That was Robert. Earl, he says, correct, Joe. We need to get these road graders in here about drafting them in the first 2 to 3 rounds. I agree. If Hutch is there at 5, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Danny, he says, Pat, best mocks on the net, man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, bro.
Appreciate
it. I got my first round mock draft out right now as well. Check that out on the channel too, Danny. JC, shout out to JC. He says, take Equano or Neil at 5, then trade 7 plus a few picks next year to get 2 of the Eagles' first round picks and draft 2 of Linderbaum, Ojabo, or Dean. That's if the Eagles want to make a trade with us. And I only see the Eagles trading up 2 first round. If the Eagles want to trade up from where they at to 7, they may have to give us all 3 of them, to be honest with you, because that's a high jump. And unless they like somebody real high in the draft at quarterback, I don't see them trading up that far. But that would be cool if we were able to trade back and still get Linderbaum and Ojabo. Man, that would be ridiculous. He says, Wink, Martindale, I'm in. Yeah. Bub the Don X, he says, I say we stick with Caden Smith at tight end, and him and DJ seem to have great chemistry when they play together. Joe, do you think that right there? I think they did have great chemistry when they played together. I'm going to be honest with you.
I like Caden Smith. I did. We could not figure out why Joe Judge hated him, why he was never on the field.
Right. I could never figure that out. But it seems that he could definitely be a good backup for sure. But him and DJ did seem to have a lot of chemistry when he passed it to Caden Smith. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, JC, he says, what do you think of drafting Lewis Sign as a replacement for Peppers? Now, if you're going to draft Lewis Sign, he's been climbing up draft boards, and you may have to take him in the second round to get him. Are you willing to take Lewis Sign at safety in the second round?
Right.
Lewis Sign, Joe, is the guy that I think his name was number 19 or number 18 that was flying around on defense for Georgia. And we was like, man, who is this dude that he's flying up here hitting people like this? That's him. So would you be willing to give up a second round pick for him? Because you're going to have to probably get him in the second round.
Oof. I don't think I'm going to give up a second for him because I got to see who's on the board, man. Look, I mean, the Giants, we got McKinney because he fell in the second. We got Ojulari because he fell in the second. We've had some really good steals here lately. We got a corner in the third last year we traded up to get that's balling. So, man, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the coordinator.
JC, I mean, that's a good point right there with Joe. I'm not giving up a second round. I'm not taking him in the second round. I'll tell you somebody that we could get in the third or the fourth round. It's a safety call out there, Smoke Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke Monday from Auburn. Look him up, JC. I see that you like safeties. Look him up. I believe that guy's a better coverage guy that they give him credit for, and his name is Smoke for a reason. If he touches you, you will be smoked. That's why he's called Smoke Monday. Look him up at Auburn. That's a guy I want you to look up for him, and you get back to me in one of these chats one day and tell me what you think. Fernando Crespo, he says, John Elway. He said, Earl, he says, Michi the third will not be there unless teams look at his injury and are scared off. Yeah, that's true. Right. That could very well happen. In the third or the fourth round.
Look at the rumors with Ojulari.
Yep. Robert says Watson ain't no Mahomes. I tell you what, you put Deshaun Watson on those Chiefs teams, and I think they have the same success. I'm not gonna lie to you. Watson is a dog, man. Watson is an absolute dog. Now you put Mahomes with the Texans in his situation that he had over there in the Texans. How great would Mahomes be? I don't know. But you can't go wrong with either one of those guys. Tim, he says, do you think Graham is staying? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. To be honest with you, I would love to see him get a head coaching job because I think that guy deserves a chance to be a head coach. He went through the crap here the 2 years with Joe Judge. He stuck it out. Hopefully they're just not holding on to him, and it caused him not to be able to get out interviews with head coach, but they're letting him interview. So I don't know. I just hope he gets the best job available for him, man, because the guy deserves it. I don't know. What do you think about it, Joe?
I agree, man. Graham, he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. We didn't look that good the first 6-7 weeks, but he turned it around midway through the season. It seems like his defensive guys really listen to him. The one thing I will say is if he gets a head coaching job, he's going to need a strong OC. He's going to need that offensive coordinator that's going to take a lot of pressure off of him until he can figure things out as a head coach because look, if he gets thrown into the same team like Judge got thrown into the Giants, he's going to have headaches and problems. And he's going to have a lot to delve into. If he goes to a team that's got a little bit of talent there, I really wanted to see him get the Bears job. I did. That defense is ready. You know, even Minnesota, I would love to see him get Minnesota. Stay away from the Texans. Stay away from the Jags. He's going to need the right fit. He really is.
I think Brian Lefers is getting that Jags job, Joe.
I heard that too.
Just makes the most sense.
Right.
But yeah, I just hope the best for the guy. I don't care what job he gets as long as it's the best job for him because he deserves it. Real talk. All right, Deception. He says trading for Watson is like strapping a concrete block to your ankle before you go scuba diving. It just doesn't make sense for what we're trying to achieve. Joe, I'm gonna let you take that one because we've been preaching this, and I don't know. It's like they're thinking we're taking shots at Deshaun Watson, and that's just not true. I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I truly believe that. But just with the legal issues and just everything in general, really, just explain the point of view to you, and I may chime in if you need me to. But go ahead, Joe.
Okay. Here's the thing, guys. With Deshaun Watson, I'm not putting a bad take on his name at all. Okay, because we don't know the facts. We don't know everything that's involved into it. But let's say he goes to criminal court and he's found not guilty. But if he's found guilty in civil court, like O.J. Simpson was, okay, Roger Goodell, who's in charge of the Shield, can say, you were detrimental to the league, and I'm going to put you on the commissioner's exempt list for a year or two. Or he can just say, you're going on the list until I decide you can come back. We've all seen this happen before with other players, from drug abuse to abusing their spouses, girlfriends, whatever. The one thing you don't do is you don't mess with the NFL's money. That the 32 owners are the ones, look, don't mess with my paycheck. And I think we're all a little bit like that too. Don't mess with my paycheck, boss. You're not going to like the results of what I'll do, out the door. I might be the least important guy. I might be the most important guy, but you mess with my paycheck, I'm gone. So this is what it's going to come down to for him. Unfortunately, it's going to all depend on civil court and what they say, because a lot of us do feel that Watson's innocent. These are trumped up charges. But again, civil court is a whole different beast. So if we give up draft picks for Deshaun Watson right now, okay, and let's say he goes through his court things in March and he's innocent. Let's say he's innocent in civil court. Okay. And it's week 3 of the NFL season. We're 2-0. All of a sudden, Goodell comes up because he's getting pressured from these women's organizations, the abuse clinics, the other organizations that are involved with women's rights and so on, and their pressure in the NFL, then women have power. Then women have a voice. And they could put enough pressure on Goodell because Deshaun Watson, they felt, did not get the right punishment. You're on the blacklist. You're on the commissioner's exempt list because I'm getting so much pressure from these women. All right. So now he's out the rest of the season. We don't have a quarterback, and that could go into next season too. So there's a lot to this as far as Deshaun Watson being able to play. And it's not just based on one court appearance, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm not taking shots at Deshaun Watson. I don't know the whole situation. I don't think any of us knows the whole situation. But it's going to come to light here in March when he starts going to court for his hearings and his appeals, and we start hearing from these women that have made these accusations. Until that is all completely cleared up, he's going to be stuck where he is.
Yeah, and what he means by pressure by the women, he means that say these women come and they're doing their protests and everything, and people stop watching the games and they're starting to lose sponsors. If you start to lose sponsors, that means you might lose your television deal. And you know, if they lose their television deal, that's that's the whole bottom line, just about sponsorships and the television deals. So anybody that messes with that bottom line, I'm sorry, you're gone.
Right.
And I don't care how great you are. It's a business. All right. Next question. Big Floyd been in here a lot, man. Shout out to Big Floyd. He says, I love Garrett Wilson. As long as we get a right tackle in the first, I wouldn't be upset. Yeah, Garrett Wilson from Ohio State is absolutely amazing. Joey, he says, how you guys feel about Treylon Burks? I think he could be a Deebo Samuel type, just bigger and faster. Treylon Burks is absolutely a beast from Arkansas.
Okay.
Look him up. He's an absolute beast. Receiver from Arkansas. Andrew Goldberg. Shout out to Andrew. He's been in here a lot today. He says they need 2 linemen in the first round rather than a receiver. Go after more linemen and a receiver in free agency. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I'm not against 2 offensive linemen in the first round. I hope you guys don't feel that I am, because that's one of the first things I would want is 2 offensive linemen in the first round, especially if we don't get a prominent offensive lineman in free agency. I think we have to go 2 offensive linemen in the first round, to be honest with you. Unless Hutchinson falls there, I'll take a 2 offensive linemen. Big Earl, he says, hey, as bad as the New York Giants cap is, there are half a dozen teams in the worst situation from us. Yeah, I can name a couple of them off the top of my head. The Saints, $75 million. Packers, $45 million. Cowboys, $40 million over the cap. We're only about $3 million over the cap, so we're not in hell. But those teams are in a lot worse situation than us.
Right.
Andrew Goldberg, he says Browns are projected to get Garrett Wilson. I actually gave him that pick in my mock draft too. Check it out. I actually gave him that pick at number 13, Garrett Wilson. Hey, we might think alike, Andrew.
Right.
Eric Johnson, he says 2 offensive linemen and a pass rusher in the second round. We've been saying that for the past 2 months. 2 offensive linemen and a pass rusher with those first 3 picks. Let's see what they do. Robert, he comes right out and said, screw receiver. They took Tony number 1. What he played 2 effing games. We need to get road graders. Let Saquon run the damn ball. That is true. Kadarius Toney did disappoint the rookie season, not because he can't play, it's because he couldn't play. Literally.
Right.
Like he was on the sideline all year. So I can see where that point of view is coming from. We definitely need to think about getting offensive lineman for sure, Rob. Yeah. Gives a thumbs up to Eric Johnson. Yeah. They agree on that take right there. Hey, we got the same name, Patrick Grove. My name is Patrick too. Hi, Patrick. Guess what? We're talking about another Patrick. Right. What happened? Right. I want Patrick Graham to return to as defensive coordinator. There's a lot of Patricks going on in this segment.
Patrick and Patrick want Patrick. All right.
Right. Hey, this Patrick wouldn't mind the other Patrick being here. Still as a defensive coordinator, but like I said earlier, I want that guy to get the best job for him and his family because he deserves it. He's been through a lot of shit the past 2 years with this Giants organization, and if leaving and gives him the best ability to achieve his ultimate goal of being a head coach, damn it, let him leave because he deserves everything that he gets. He put up with that shit here for 2 years, and he was the best part of the whole coaching staff. The defense was solid 2 years in a row, so he deserves everything that he gets as far as coaching wise. Let that man get the best job available for him. Real talk.
Right.
Joey, he says he sounds like he isn't scared to cut anyone, and to be heard, we need that. Right, we do, Joey. We do need a guy that's not scared to cut anyone. Like, really, what are you scared for? This team has been garbage for the past 7 years. So what are you scared to cut anybody? You guys in the chat tell me one guy on this team besides Andrew Thomas that you're scared to cut. Maybe Kadarius Toney and Xavier McKinney. I give you that. But other than that, name one guy on this team that you would be scared to cut.
I mean, I like Ojulari. I like Ojulari. Dude, I mean, it all depends on what you could get for him. If somebody wanted to give up picks, you got to listen to what they're willing to give up. You know, it's just like trading your draft pick. You got to listen to, okay, hey, Giants, we want your number 5 pick. Well, what are you going to give us for it? You called me. I didn't call you. No, that doesn't sound good. I mean, you're going to have to sweeten the pot a little bit more. And those phone calls are going to be happening all the time. James, look, I think he had 9.5 sacks. But, if somebody gives you a 1 1/3 for Ojulari, you got to listen. I'm not saying somebody's going to do that, but you just took a 2nd round pick and you got a 1 1/3 because he had a phenomenal rookie year and somebody wants him. I get it. I want to keep the production here too, but you got it. You have to at least take the phone call and listen. If you don't, then you're not the guy for the job.
Right.
Sorry, jumping ahead in chat, but
oh no, it's cool. He says exactly, Big Pat. It don't matter what he looks like; it's what he does. Exactly.
Yes.
He says, I like that he was a bit nervous. It was not talking like a Timmy Tough Nuts. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin, see, yeah, he showed real emotion up there, man. He was a little bit nervous, man. He's a young guy.
Right.
I mean, he's barely older than me. I'm 34, and he's, 41?
42, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Edward Gladney, thank you for tuning in, man. You commented earlier. He says, I really appreciate your channels, your assessments, especially your recent breakdown of the top. If we do not take Linderbaum, how do you feel about Alec Lindstrom in the 3rd round? Alec Lindstrom in the 3rd round, yes, I'll take him.
Yes.
Yeah. Alec Lindstrom in the 3rd round, I have to take him, but I would say this: there's a significant drop off in play from Lindstrom to Linderbaum.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's a significant drop between those two guys. Significant. Like, seriously. So, yeah, 3rd round would be a good place for him, Edward. But if we could take Linderbaum, I want Linderbaum, man.
Hey, Edward, thanks for subbing me up, man. I appreciate that. Just got the notification. Thank you.
Thank you for all the new subs and all the likes, man, and all the people that were here in the chat and are still here looking at us. We're still 60 strong. Man, we're still going strong, and we're going to keep going strong for you. He says, that's why I just say no to Frazier rushing 4 with 32 seconds. Wrong.
Right.
Earl, he says, we will get a tight end or 2 in this draft, likely Otten, Rucker, McBride, and my favorite, Wademeyer, all are in play for the New York Giants.
Yes, they are.
I've done a mock draft with every last one of those guys and one of them, except for Likely, because I think he may slip into the 1st round. I'm not going to lie to you. One of those tight ends, Wademeyer or Likely, will slip into the 1st round. McBride is probably the best receiving tight end, but he is willing to block. Rutgers is an all-around tight end. Otten is an all-around tight end. He's just slow. But my favorite tight end in here is Kolar. Go ahead, Joe.
Man, we had Weidermeyer drop to us in the 4th on a mock round draft one time.
Right.
That blew my mind. So, yeah, those guys are all in play. We're definitely going to need at least 2. We ain't going to be able to get one in free agent. And we don't have, if we got to cut Rudolph, I mean, that's only leaving us with what, Smith?
Right.
Yeah.
And Smith is on his way out the door, too. So, who knows?
Right.
Let me send a link to Miz.
Oh, okay.
On Twitter. Yeah, I know I sent it to Miz earlier today. I know I wasn't tripping. All right. Still got 50 going strong in the chat. He said,
beautiful.
King Tone says, I'm excited because I feel this is the start of a turnaround. It was too much going on before, but as long as we get rid of the cancer, we will be all right. Yeah, we will be. We will be.
Yes.
Earl says, no on Frazier. I'm with you on that, bro. Eric Johnson, he's back. He says, prevent defense, prevent you from winning.
Right. Does. He's right. It does.
No. Oh, man. Earl says, good job, King Tone. Super Ty says, Dabo, yes, I think that's our next coach. He says, laugh out loud to Earl. Yeah, that was funny. Earl says, Giants' final defensive rankings are unjust due to the 3-and-out worthless offense. It lessened their stats. Yes, I've said that a long time. Did. This defense played their hearts out, man. That offense literally would put up about 20 yards in the first half, and the score would be 3-3.
Yep.
And then the offense turns around and gives up turnovers, pick sixes, and returns to the 5-yard line and things like that. I think this defense would have been a lot better statistically if the offense would have been able to do anything. Anthony Disler, he says, when he has a little body of work, we have our opinions. Let's give this a chance. And yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Right.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people were saying they were unimpressed, or a lot of people were saying they were impressed. And I'll say the same thing to both people. Give it time. Let's see some of the moves that he makes. Let's see some of the moves and shakes that he makes.
Right.
Let's see if he makes the right moves in our eyes, or in your eyes, or whoever's eyes. Let's see if he fixed his offensive line within a year or two. Let's see if he brings in a culture to this Giants team that we need. Let's see what he does with the cap room. Let's see if he cuts some of the players that we believe that will be cut. Let's see if he has the gall to go out there and get rid of some of these contracts that were made. Let's just see him, period. Let's just see him more and more interviews. This is one press conference, guys. This is what killed us the last time, because we all thought Joe Judge was just going to be the next coming of Bill Belichick or anything like that. Not to say he was a bad guy, but things didn't work out, and I believe there had to be a split between the two, because both sides needed a break from each other. Just to be honest, from it, I hope Joe Judge goes along and becomes a coordinator or whatever, and he gets another head coaching job and see what he can do with it.
Right.
Because a lot of people fail their first head coaching gig. They do, and they go on to be coordinators. They come back and they try again. Why can't he get the same respect? I think he will, and I think he will show that he can be a good head coach. Mayer said it in his press conference. He believes there's a good head coach in Joe Judge.
Right.
It's just that the situation here was so messed up that nobody could have survived in that, man.
Right.
You name one coach in the league that could survive with Glennon and Jake Fromm at quarterback with that offensive line in front of them. Name one coach that could survive that. I can't name one. Not even Andy Reid, not even Bill Belichick. Those are the closest ones I can see. Maybe Mike Tomlin, because he seems to do very well with what he has. But damn, that's worse. I'll take a wash Big Ben over those guys 10 times. So I don't know. But good question. Good stuff, Anthony. He says first 2 picks, Linderbaum and Devin Lloyd, a trade down. I'm with you on that, King Tone. I will definitely not be mad at that.
Yep.
Earls, he says, I want Ekwonu and Linderbaum. If we get Ekwonu and Linderbaum, that will be one stream for the ages.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
For damn sure. We'll be doing streams on everybody's channels.
Right.
Yeah, Miz, I sent the link, man. Well, hold on, Miz. If you want to come in, I'll put the link in the chat.
I don't even know if he's still here.
Yeah, I just talked to him on the phone.
Ah, okay.
I sent it to his email. He said he should be on a few. Goldberg, he says this does not have to be the Houston Texans rebuild. I'm giving the Giants 3 years to get back in the playoffs. And that's a good amount of time.
It is.
A good amount of time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, they need 3 years is a good amount of time to see if we can get back in the playoffs. We should at least be ready to make a playoff push in 3 years. I will give you that.
We should see improvement this year. All right. With just the offensive line, fixing that. Year 2, we should definitely see better quarterback play, better mesh concepts, better fit, guys knowing each other a little bit better, the O-line gelling, the defensive coordinator. I mean, that's going to be year 2 of the scheme being fit offensively, defensively. Special teams, without a doubt, year 1 should be good. But, special teams is we shouldn't have to worry about that at all first year. But the defensive scheme, the offensive scheme is something that's going to take the longest time. But you're right. Then year 3, we should have a good idea after year 2 of what's going on after the draft, the money that we're going to have available, who we get. And we should definitely be a playoff push team or a contender, the very least a contender, very, very least.
Exactly. So 3 years is a good amount of time, Andrew. I'm not mad at that. Earl, he says, Danny, look at Pat's mocks. I would love to trade down. Yeah,
right.
My mock drafts, I do have some good trade downs. Check those out, man. Man, we got so much content for people to check out, man. Go subscribe to Classified 3F with Joe. His link is pinned in the chat at the top. So please subscribe to my man. This is my right-hand man. He's always with me. Subscribe to G Nation Inside Sports. Both their links are in the description. Those are my right-hand guys, man. They're always with me. Big Blue Crew. That's what we call ourselves, and that's what we are. And I thank you guys for viewing with us all day today. We've had a consistent 50 to 60 in the chat, man.
2.5 hours, man. Thank you, everybody. This is fun, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. And we're gonna continue till you tell us to stop.
Right, right.
DJ Tank Solo Cup Crew. That's a damn good name. Right. He says, I hope the new coach understands Barkley is not a between the tackle running back. We need him in open space. This is why we do Giants Interactions. I did a Giants Interactions, DJ Tank. You might want to check that back then. I did one with Brian Dabo to show how they do run plays and everything, bro. And this is why I think they would like to bring Dabo over, man. The way that we went through some of those plays, it was amazing, man. It was crazy. It was just absolutely crazy, bro. All right. He says, Schoen.
That was earlier.
Yo, what's good, my brother? How you doing?
Hey,
what's going on?
Shout out to Joseph Ramirez, man. Thank you for subbing me up, my guy.
Hey, fellas. How you doing?
Hey, Adam.
What's going on?
What a great press conference. What a great direction we're going. I love this guy.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm glad that he mentioned the O-line on WFAN. It means we got him going in the right direction already.
Right.
He's going to keep Daniel Jones and Barkley and then evaluate them when you get the pieces fixed. So we'll see what happens. Can't ask for much more, right?
Exactly. Deception says cut him. Aaron Robinson will replace him. That was earlier when we were talking about Bradbury. Man, we got so many of these to get to, man.
I know.
He said Robert says, Miz, if you heard Sean, there's going to be tough cuts. Yeah, there is.
Yep.
He says cut James Bradbury, draft Derek Stingley Jr. Just a thought. Do not want to take a DB that high in the draft, but I wouldn't be mad at Derek Stingley Jr. I think that guy would turn out to be a beast. I know he has a little bit of injury history, but if you look at his film, it was just something about Smith that kept getting him burned over there in the LSU. But other than that, he was shut down.
I'll be right back. I need coffee.
All right. He says we'll get a few, but for nothing, big name position, guts, hard workers. Yep. He says Jones will be here. Super Taj, let's get it.
What's going on, Taj?
So how do you think they're going to build the roster? What guys do you feel he's going to let go of? I know he said that we're in salary cap hell, but there's a lot of coach speak. Like someone said, I don't care if he wins the press conference, just do your job well. So is there anything that you think might coming down the pike that is going to be cut? Maybe a surprise cut, maybe somebody you guys think that they would be going after?
I'll let you go first.
You really can't tell. You really can't tell how they're going to go because you don't know who the head coach is. So you really can't tell how they're going to go. But I will say this. Mayor already said they're willing to take on dead cap to get cap space in here. So you can see a lot of cuts happening. But, I mean, a lot of the cuts that will happen are probably already cuts that we've been talking about for months now. So I wouldn't be surprised about any of those guys being cut. Only surprise move if they find a trade partner for Galladay or someone like that. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised.
Can I run a scenario by you guys real quick?
Sure.
What do you so what if in free agency they grab 2 linemen and in the draft they grab 2 linemen? Will that be suffice enough for you guys to say that the O-line's fixed? Are you getting average linemen to compete? How do you want to construct the line? Because I'm looking at a lot of teams like the Saints, even the Buffalo Bills. There are going to be a lot of purges this season. So there's going to be some guys that are available. So how would you want this line constructed? I mean, Shane Lemieux is still here and Andrew Thomas. So I would like to hear you guys' views on what you think might be done.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Gates coming back or anything like that. I wouldn't be upset at all if they went out in free agency and took 2 offensive linemen. And then, went in the draft and took 2 offensive linemen as well. I'm not expecting those 2 offensive linemen in free agency to be big name players, but I expect them to be quality players. I think that they would be players better than what we had going into the season last year and throughout the season last year, personally. And I think Pat, I think you make a great point. There's going to be purges, man. Especially when you look at the Colts. Bills are going to be letting go of some players as well. So I expect a lot of players from the Bills, not a lot, but quite a few players from the Bills to be coming over this way.
So I'm assuming never mind. Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Yeah, I said that last night, man. If they can get 2 good offensive linemen and draft an offensive lineman with that number 5 pick, that should be way better than what we had so far. But we're going to get back into these questions, man, because we got so many to go through. Josh Bates says, should we keep Barkley? I say yes, unless we get the right price for him. If we get a first or a second rounder for Barkley, I'll definitely consider it, but I'll take nothing less than a high second for him.
What about an in-season trade?
That's what I'm saying.
Trade? Oh, okay.
Mid-season, any time. I'm not taking anything less than a first or second for him. I'm not. Mark P, he says at Mark P, he was just saying build through the draft. Yo, Vintage.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the channel, bro. I think we think the exact same way. That's why I keep going through these comments. Right. I got Ontario Drummond in my second mock draft, bro. I'm telling you, that dude is talented from Ole Miss. I'm glad people look at the draft the same way that I do, man. That dude from Ole Miss is very talented, bro. He's big, he's strong, he can catch with the best of them. That Deebo Samuel type receiver is finna take over the league, man. Believe it or not, man, that dude reminds me of Deebo Samuel just a little bit. Not saying he can be Deebo Samuel, but he plays just like him. Shout out to Vintage Skills, man. Thank you, man. I've been talking about that guy for 2 months now.
Right.
Marcus Daniels, he says Hakeem and Hamilton. Hamilton, man, at number 7, man, or number 5. I don't know, Marcus, but shout out to Marcus Daniels for coming into the chat.
Well, what about 7? 7 is I feel like a wild card type of.
I don't know, man. It just depends on what they do in free agency, man. If they could get some offensive lineman in free agency and we take an offensive lineman with that first pick instead of safety, because we got a ball hawking safety already, and I think Julian Love could do just as well as strong safety. I would really go Devin Lloyd right there.
Okay,
I would take Devin Lloyd. Rusher, if you're not going to take an edge rusher or another lineman, I will go Devin Lloyd right there because we need middle linebacker very bad as well. So I think we need middle linebacker more than safety right there, bro. Just to be honest with you. But that's not a bad idea. I wouldn't be pissed off, but I'll be kind of disappointed because with Devin Lloyd or Jabo is right there. Say if
I
Thibodeau is
love
right there
Ajabo.
because he falls. Say if
Right.
Karlaftis is right there. I think all those
Yeah.
picks will be better than what a Akeem or what a Hamilton would be for us. Not to saying Hamilton's a bad player. I think he's one of the baddest dudes in this draft, and I think he's going to be a damn good player in this league. But we already got Xavier McKinnon. I think we have other needs other than safety right there. So shout out to Marcus Daniels, man. Thank you for the consistent 50 to 60 people in this chat from the
I
very
know.
beginning, man. This has been absolutely awesome. Earl 14, Earl been all through the comments. What you got for me now, man? He says, what do you think the next year will be? Will definitely be out to salary cap hell. No restructuring on him. Blake Martinez, if he's healthy, will be restructured. If Brad is dropped, we will draft Stingley Jr. I think if Bradbury is dropped, we got Aaron Robinson, we got Darnay Holmes, we got Rodarius Williams, we got the other Williams that was playing pretty good. We got
Julian
Love. Yeah, we got a lot of people on this roster that can actually step up in that Bradbury spot. So I don't think just because we get rid of Bradbury, we're drafting a corner. I highly doubt that. I think we do restructure Blake Martinez because we really have nothing at middle linebacker after Martinez. And
Well,
we're
let's
not
look
as
at it.
salary cap hell as people think. I'm gonna let everybody else talk about that real quick, and then we'll go to the next question. But Joe, what you think about that?
Hey, man, listen, I mean, we got in the third round, we got a hell of a corner that was supposed to go in the bottom second round. Okay. Let's see if somebody else drops again into the third, fourth round. Hey, that was one of the things I loved about Judge in last year's draft. Everybody was kind of upset we went up and got another corner, but that really paid off in the long run if you think about it, because he was contributing into the defense when guys got hurt.
I mean, yeah, and then it ended up working out,
Right.
like you don't forecast it like that. You don't say, oh well, we're going to lose injuries to
Right.
this guy, but valuable. Now he's valuable because if you do cut Bradbury, you still have a guy who can come in. I think he's better outside than inside. Somebody asked that to me on Monday. Would you play him in the slot? I think Darnay Holmes, if he doesn't get injured, is a better slot corner than Aaron Robinson. I would rather put the more physical specimen, which is Aaron Robinson, on the outside, especially if you bring in a guy like a Wink Martindale, going to play a 3-4 press, cover 0. You're going to need a guy who's going to be up in your face. You know what I mean, Joel? So,
yes, exactly. I agree 100%. So let's see what value is going to drop. So, look, the only thing I'm really sold on is I do want to fix the O-line. We got 2 draft picks. I'm not going to be mad if we take pick 5 and trade it. I'm not going to be mad if we take pick 7. I'm not going to be mad if we keep them. But the picks have to be right for the team. Don't take the shiny, flashy. Take what's right for the team. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I want Hit Squad's opinion on this. Go ahead, Hit Squad.
Yeah, no. For me personally, I think that a lot of players that are either going to be cut or restructured, y'all have been talking about for a while now at this point. Martinez, I think honestly it might be smart to extend him. I know he's coming off an injury, but you can lower that cap hit. Even if you have him as your third linebacker, I mean, that's still a solid player right there. I think another player that kind of gets overlooked that could be restructured is Adoree Jackson. I know that we just signed him last year, and he's played solid for us. But he has a pretty high cap hit this year. And with the new general manager, and it did come out that Abrams and Schoen are going to work together on the cap. I would expect Adoree Jackson, same with Leonard Williams, to get a restructure on their deal.
Yes.
And to answer this, if Brad is dropped, we'll draft Stingley Jr. I gotta say, man, I thought Adoree Jackson played really well last year. You hardly ever heard his name called unless he dropped an interception, but he wasn't really giving up big plays. For the most part, I know he dealt with a little injury bug. He was relatively healthy. And I think that Aaron Robinson has really stepped up, especially where we selected him, man. I mean, he really held his own as a rookie. So I'm with Pat. I wouldn't draft Stingley that high. If I'm looking at a corner, for me personally, I'm looking in the 4th round, just because I think that we got other positions that we have to address going into this draft. And I don't think corner is one of them, at least at the moment.
That's a very good assessment. His squad, man, I done lost my thing and where everybody was at. Man, there's so many comments in here,
I
man.
know.
I
It's
know,
crazy.
man.
We gotta get to them though. I
Appreciate
appreciate
everybody.
everybody coming to the chat
Damn.
today, man.
Yes.
Yo, what's good? One of the ones in the chat, he says all Bills' first and second draft picks since 2019 have been offensive or defensive line. Shane may have similar approach. Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Good point.
yes.
Yep.
Good
and
point.
yes. I'm glad somebody finally pointed that out. I've been studying this guy's draft history. That's why I think offensive line and defensive line are going to be approached. I just think which one he doesn't get at free agency is where he goes.
Well, it'll be
I'll
funny
be
if they
honest
get him in the first two first rounders, right? Just
Yeah.
bolster
That'd
both
be
to the
perfect.
line. Jobo, well, I guess he's not a lineman, but I guess front seven, I would say, and then
Yeah, front
the
seven. all
offensive
day.
line.
Yep.
And I just want to say this really quick. I know we're going to get to a lot of these comments. It actually came out per SNY that Joe Schoen already did extensive work on rounds 1 through 4 so far in this draft.
Yeah,
he's not
Yeah.
worried.
He said in the interview. He said
Yeah.
he's
He ain't
already ready
worried.
for the draft.
He smiled and gave that kind of half smile, like y'all don't need to worry about the draft. I got this.
Right.
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 He been doing this, so
He's
And
like,
I
I'm worried about free agency.
Yeah, no, and I gotta say this much, man. I mean, I gotta give a lot of credit to John Mara for being open and being honest that let's be real, this team has failed Daniel Jones. I mean, they really have. I mean, they haven't provided him with the line. We've switched offensive coordinators, but kept the coach. You know, they haven't really done this kid any favors. So I
Even
expect them
Barkley.
to. Even
Right.
Barkley, yeah, Adam, you're absolutely correct. I think you build this foundation, fix the line, add some pieces to the defense. If Jones isn't the answer, get your QB next year. He's coming into a better situation than what Jones came into.
I feel like Barkley is the one that's getting the worst of this because we don't talk about him. What he did in 2018 was absolutely phenomenal. Okay. What he did in 2019, he still had 1,000 yards. And obviously 2020, we know he got injured. So I'm hoping that, as he progresses, remember, it takes a year or two. Everybody's body responds differently to injuries and how they recover. So maybe this year with a better line and a better set of, direction and a better offensive game plan, maybe we could see the Barkley of old. Maybe if Dable, let's just hypothetically say it's Dable, right? Because most of the reports are it's him. I feel he'll build an offense that fits his personnel as opposed to just saying, hey, let's just run out there and go. Like Pat said, I think mentioned something on the stream where Joe Judge's offense was like, run the offense, don't adjust, right? Kind of just go out there and
Right.
get open. I think Dayball will actually add some creativity. So when we're sitting here on a Sunday, we're not bored out of our mind. We're actually going to utilize our players the way we need to. So, I want to see what Barkley does. He's cheap right now. You might as well ride him out. If you decide that by week 8 or whatever the trade deadline is, you can get value. Someone calls you up and says, hey, we need a running back. We'll give you this. Then yes, part ways with him. But I like where Joe Shane's already going. I don't need a press conference. I'm not looking at the press conference. I'm looking at some of the things he said within the press conference. The draft, the O-line, his direction, the mirror, how him and the coach are going to work lockstep, which I think is great. I don't know if that was the same with Gettleman and Judge. It looked like there was some headbutting going on in there, and that never works out. So, like Hit Squad said, John Mara's got it. John Mara finally, I think, is doing what he needs to do correctly. So.
All right, Vintage Skills. He says, yes, I have no problem with taking Hamilton with one of our picks.
Okay.
He's a good player. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be like, oh, my God, we're so stupid if we take him. But I think Devin Lloyd would be the pick for me. Miz, he says, Joe Schoen on WFAN right now says Sean Payton, he was told, will take a year off. Quite sure he will. Don't know how that contract situation works. All right, Miz, what's going on, Miz?
Hey, Miz.
Sorry, hey guys.
You got it playing in the background, Miz.
I know, I just fixed it. Sorry. Yeah.
Lake, Nona, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for everybody coming into the chat. Hit that like and subscribe button. Eric Johnson, he's back. He says, if we take the kids from NC State and Iowa, run to the left, baby. Right.
Yep. Correct. Yes.
Right. He says Sean Payton told the leagues he's taking a year off. Yeah, Miz said that. No problem with Dabo being the guy, but a whole lot of his best production was Allen buying time to find guys on the run. Gonna have to have a much better run game here if it's DJ than he had with Bills, and that's true.
Yeah,
That's a fair assessment. I think they build his offensive line better over here with the Giants though, because they
I think
know
they can manufacture
Daniel
yards.
Jones has limitations. But yeah, that's a true statement, Jason. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Thank you for always supporting.
I like to see him with a competent guy, not a guy who runs stick routes and turns around. With some crossing routes. They had pick plays going on in that game last on Sunday. The offense wasn't a problem. Now Allen, he elevates things. That's what he does. It's just supposed to do. Buy some time. Maybe with a new offensive line, we see these traits come out of Daniel Jones, right? Maybe we see him improve. I mean, the guy. There's nothing. I can't say Daniel Jones' work ethic is not there. I can't say that he's not determined. I just want to see what happens. Maybe he was gun shy last year. Getting sacked does that to you, right? So maybe with a new offensive coordinator, get the ball out quicker, give it to Barkley out of the back. They did a lot of checkdowns in Buffalo. If you watch that game, Allen, they set up plays to the running back out of the backfield to get a couple yards. We didn't even do that. We didn't even turn and give the ball to Barkley. It's like how hard is that? You can walk up and say, give it to 26. You know what I mean? So, anyways, guys, thanks for having me. Just wanted to, show support and throw a few comments out about Joe Schoen, enjoying the show, and let's go Big Blue.
That's right.
Yes,
Let's go Big Blue.
All right, go ahead, his squad.
No, I just wanted to say one thing I love about Shane and what he said in his press conference is he loves to develop these players after he drafts them and extend these players. We haven't done that in quite some time. I mean, you look at our 2018 draft, most of those players are gone. They're not even on this roster anymore. And if Will Hernandez walks in free agency, which I see that happening, I believe it's only Barkley here left now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that with Shane, I think that we got ourselves a nice one. I don't want to overreact. Obviously, we got to wait to see what happens, but I'm really liking this guy. I just got to say it. I'm really liking this guy.
All right, now we're gonna have to get back into the questions, man, because we don't feel behind.
Big time.
We want everybody to get their mark in here, and you guys are more than welcome to answer some of the questions. I'll tell you exactly which ones I want you to answer. But another new guy to here, Montauk Weiler. I'm so glad that this Deshaun Watson trade to New York has been put to rest. That has been put to rest by John Mayer today. So yeah.
Montauk Whaler. I like that, Dave. That's cool, man.
Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. All right. He got another one. He says Jones will not be with the Big Blue beyond 2022. We'll see.
Find out. Yep, we'll find out.
But I hope he gets a fair shake. I really do. Earl, he says Tiki and Tyrion on WFAN. I'd rather be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
For real.
Al Monroe, he says Bryce Young is a baby. Don't need him. Bryce Young disappointed me in that championship game. I'm not gonna lie to you, Al Monroe. I'm not gonna lie to you. He says Hamilton is a luxury. Big Earl. Miz earlier says Parcells has arranged all this. Bill Parcells, the GOAT, fixing the Giants.
I agree with that.
He was behind the scenes doing a lot of things. He said without Bama's good old like Bryce would be garbage. I gotta see what he does, man, because I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I'm not gonna say that you're right there, Al Monroe. But I definitely have questions about him after that championship game. I'm not gonna lie to you. King Tone, one of the originals, he says, if DJ doesn't pan out next year, I want CJ Stroud only if DJ is really bad. True.
Yes.
Parcells told Schoen you're going to the best organization. And
I know that was something. Let's talk about that for a second, Pat, because a lot of us were questioning whether, was the Giants' job even good? Did people still want to come here with all the BS that has gone on this organization inside the office and the team on the field? That's a great point, Miz.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Look, go back to that question there that Miz had asked. Go up.
What's on this?
Yeah, Parcells. Okay, that right there. Look, it's nice to know that Mara actually went outside. It wasn't Ernie Accorsi this time. Ernie Accorsi wasn't brought in to say who should be the next GM. You know, Parcells has been out of the office for a long time, but you know he's still got connections. You know that he still makes his phone calls. He still makes his contacts. You know, that guy is always going to be involved in football just like John Madden was. You know, when you say John Madden, to me, I think Bill Parcells right behind him. And I can't help that. But that's just that's the feeling I have for that man. And when you talk about great GMs, you know, George Young is right up there with me. But that's being a Giants fan.
Yep.
So, you know, look, shout out to Mara with everything that he's done so far. Okay. You and me broke him down in his interview, his press conference, and he did look like a little whoop dog. He got up there. He didn't make a long speech. He looked like a guy that had a little bit of hope with everything that's going on. Did you guys notice that at all from him when he was up on the podium introducing Shane?
Yeah, he looked a little happier. He looked a little relieved.
Yeah, exactly. He does look a little relieved. He looks a little bit like some weight falling off of his shoulders. So if he's feeling that already, and us as a fan base, we're basically starting to feel that already. You know, we actually can all sit here and agree that we think that this is being done the right way. For how many years has it been since we've all been able to sit here and say that?
Right.
You know,
A long time.
You're right.
Exactly, guys. I mean, we have not been able to sit here and communicate and all agree on one subject because it's been one or the other, one side or the other. We're always like Wilson on the fence peeking over, and all you see is our freaking eyeballs on Home Improvement. So, how you guys feeling about all of this, you know, with Parcells being involved in everything?
Well, that's what I was trying to say a week and a half or so ago, that I heard that Parcells is going to have. So look, people are giving Mara a real hard time, man, especially the media. They're dogging him. He's done. You know, the guy got to get rid of his family, get rid of the organization, just all this nonsense that you always hear from the negative media that likes to hype up these negative stories. But you know what? To sit there and say the guy didn't care, well, let's take a look. The guy basically admits that he's lost his ways. Okay, he reaches out. He definitely had reached out in some form of a phone call to Parcells. A lot of the alumni and Parcells are probably sick of seeing what they've been watching, just like us. All right, because you heard some players speak out about it. Tuck, Carl Banks, Tiki Barber, even Brandon Jacobs said a little something without getting too stupid, because
Lawrence Tynes.
Right. So, man. So listen, and he knows the fans already expressed themselves those last few weeks, especially in that last game. The fans that were there were giving it to him and the team bad, and Joe Judge also. So for this guy to admit, basically by reaching out to somebody for help, you basically got to swallow your ego and say, I screwed shit up here. That tells you how much this guy cares, and that's how I felt about him. He does care, and it's not about the tickets and the seats either, believe me, because the Giants are a very wealthy organization. What I'm saying is, when I said it felt like a black cloud has been lifted, it really feels that way.
Yep.
Yes, I agree with that, Miz.
You know, I'm not taking a knock at any past coach or saying it's a whole thing. It's a mess that was put together, dark mess that was getting darker and darker, especially this December. It got real dark around here. So I think you had to just start all over. You know, and you gotta love this kind of regime coming in, man. You gotta love it. I do.
Here's the thing, Miz. Did anybody else feel a sense of pride when Schoen sat up there and he said, look, I'm the GM of the New York Giants. This is an established organization. All right. I took this job because this is one of the classiest outfits in the NFL. Did anybody else feel a little bit of pride coming back into your chest about your team?
I got chills, man. Chills.
I get them right now. I got goosebumps.
You guys have heard me talk all through this. I've always felt that way. Even when we got into it for a small second, that's where I was coming from. I still got a lot of pride about this organization. When I go out with Bucco, how do you think the convo ends every time? I've seen 4 goddamn rings. Tell me how many you watched. And I will live with that. You know why? People don't like hearing the past. But guess what? History matters in the NFL.
It does.
And we're one of the top organizations in the league. I don't care what.
I think that took a big weight off of everybody's shoulders, and I think that had a lot to do with that black cloud lifting, Miz.
Yep.
I really
You can't
do.
sit here and say you're not excited about these guys because you could take a look at what they did with Buffalo. They took over in 2012-13. They took over the same exact mess they were that we are now. Salary cap problem. They were in worse salary cap hell than we are. We're not even in hell. We're just
Right.
have to fix a few things. Man, we have some talent. They didn't have any. Look what these guys did over there. And Dabo is the guy because he comes along with Schoen. And you're getting a couple other big coaches with him. The guy has a staff ready to come in. That's what already told me a few days ago. He's already the head coach. They just got to go through this process, do the right thing, So
I agree.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And guess what? I'll tell you another thing I'm happy Mara today. I'm happy Mara laid to rest this whole Watson crap for some of these people out there that are dying for him.
Yes,
I agree with you.
Yes.
I'm not giving away my picks because, like the guy said today, we will build a big-time team through the drafts.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Facts, Miz.
That's it. And development, something we've lost our ways the last 8 years. Development, and keeping your own players, re-sign them and believe in them. I can't tell you how much it bothers me, and I don't like to get into it with people, so I don't bring it up that much. I can't tell you how much it bothers me to see all these players we drafted having success around the league, man.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's sad. It's really sad. I mean, just to kind of end it here real quick. Not end it. Let me not say that. But one thing that that really bothered me this season was just the divide between the franchise with the fans. I mean, you had fans going neck and neck like it was something personal, like like I was individually in charge of the Giants and that this was my fault. And if my opinion didn't align with you, then I was an idiot. I want to get back to where we're winning games. We are competitive. This because I really do think that the NFL is a lot better when the NFC East is competitive.
Yes.
I mean, and I think that that's where we're headed towards right now. I mean, not to talk about Washington or Philly, but they get something rolling, especially Washington. I mean, this division, man, this could be a very competitive division. So I'm really excited, man.
Sorry about that, Pat, but that was just a really good topic.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I got a couple of good things. We need to get back and interacting with these comments.
Yes,
a couple of good things. Somebody said, when's the last time a great QB came out of Alabama?
Mac Jones?
Montel Whaler says, Eric Johnson, Joe Namath 50+ seasons ago.
Who?
Jesus.
Mac Jones? Who? I was right on Jimmy. I was right on Jimmy Garoppolo. Damn it. He's in the NFC playoff championship game. All right. Mac Jones is going to be that guy too. A couple of years. You watch.
That's a good one. He says Bradbury, I believe, is gone. Ryan is gone. This is from Robert. Bradbury, I believe, is gone. Ryan is gone. Martinez, Shepard, Rudolph, Pepper, Soda, and more. Keep preaching, Big Pat. O-line rules. Yeah, a lot of those guys are going to be gone, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Robert.
Man, Pat,
shout out to Brick City.
You got 75 likes, my guy. Good deal. 74.
Yeah.
Damn. Woo.
Yep.
Smoking, baby. Smoking.
Shout out the chat.
Yeah, shout out to everybody hitting that thumbs up, subscribing, ring that bell.
AK, what's going on, AK? Brick City.
Yo, what's good, man?
Get those likes, man. As the guy comes on in the midday. This guy could be doing other things with his day, and he comes out here and makes a big afternoon for us. So you guys got to go give him the appreciation.
Yeah.
Brick City 101.
These guys.
He says the only thing that will motivate DJ is to bring competition. We need a strong, reliable backup on up and potential starter. Injury prone is my concern, and rebuild O-line ASAP. Starter with Andrew Thomas. All right, Brick City 101. Thank you for tuning in and hit that like and subscribe button. I'm definitely gonna let the guys go in on this one here as well because this is a huge subject as well. DJ. We all know that in the press conference, he let it slip out. He probably didn't want it to slip out, but he said he wanted to build a system around Daniel Jones that came out his mouth. So I know he meant it. He probably didn't want it to come out, like I said, but you guys thinking about bringing a veteran backup in here? I know he said that in the past as well when he first got the job. He wants to bring in a veteran backup. And What are your thoughts about DJ going forward? I want you guys to tell me about that. AK, you can jump in if you want to. AK,
Sure.
look, this guy right here, man. Please sub up to this guy, man. This guy went out his way to raise what was it, $3,500 for a fellow YouTuber that lost his son, unfortunately, and he went and he did streams until he reached his goal. His goal was 5,000, but the funds needed to be sent immediately, and so he had to stop at 3,500. There's no other guy on YouTube I've seen that's ever done that. I commend him for that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Subscribe out to AK Eagles Uncensored. Just shout out your channel. Just shout out what you've done before then, and then I want Joe to start off with the Brick City question right there. But AK, take the page to let everybody know who you are real quick, man.
Yeah, I'm AK Eagles of the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I have a conspiracy podcast as well. Obviously, I talk Eagles football, but I'm knowledge in all 32 teams. I just love kicking it with you guys and just talking football. It's fun to talk as adults sometimes. So
yes, even though we're rivalries.
Yeah, and that's one thing I wanted to say, man. I heard you guys talking about your team, and me and Jeff had the conversation last night. Shout out to him, by the way. Thank you for coming over. Our teams are very similar. No lie. I mean, we need different needs, but we're very similar. I heard you guys say earlier you're looking at a 2-3 year window. Well, that's kind of what we're looking at. If we do things the right way. So I like how, I told Jeff last night, I want you guys to get better because when we compete, man, we compete.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to having some really good games. I'd rather beat you guys at your fullest than at your weakest.
Right.
It's going to be good for us for sure.
Yes, it is. The NFC beast.
Another guy that said that last week was Bobby, man. He wanted to see the Giants get better so the Eagles and Giants could go back to war again like they used to.
Yeah.
And see what happens. But I got a feeling, just real quick, I got a feeling, but looking ahead at the NFC East, that the Eagles, Giants, and Washington are going to rise. And I have a feeling that Dallas' window is going to close very fast, man.
I 100% agree with you.
Yep.
I see it, man. I see they got some hidden problems that are rising. So
yes, they do. But let's get on this DJ thing here real quick. I'm going to agree with him. Okay, we do need a quality backup. We need somebody that is going to be capable to come in and run this offense. Not a Glennon, not a Fromm. Look, this is going to be hard to do though because there's really not that many free agent quarterbacks out there. Yeah, you got Bridgewater, but I mean, I watched him in a couple of games with Denver this year, and they were getting spanked, and he would literally just give up. You could see him giving up on the. I don't want a guy like that here in the locker room. I'm sorry, I just don't. I want guys that, just like our defense, the last game they played hard. All right, you can say what you want about our offense. It might stink, but I truly feel the guys were going out there trying to give something of an effort and all they could. And they just did not have it. You could see they didn't have it. So I want a guy that's going to come in here and compete and not just sit there on the sidelines, eat a hot dog, get a pop, whatever, lounge, kick back. I want a guy that's going to stand there, listen to the freaking plays, hold the clipboard, and continue to learn. And if he sees something, come back. And when Daniel gets on the sidelines, they look at their tablet and is given input along with the quarterback's coach. That's what I want. The guy who comes in as a backup for DJ, this guy better put in the goddamn work because I'm sick and tired of seeing this lackadaisical bullshit on the sidelines. I'm sorry for cursing, but that's just how I feel about this subject, getting a backup quarterback in here. I can't handle this no more. I don't want to see, somebody like Glennon standing on the sideline.
No, you never see Glennon over here again. Never.
You're absolutely right. And
I listened to the press conference today. Another hint came out, a small hint. Actually, it wasn't the press conference. It was the live interview with Tiki and Tierney on WFAN about Trubisky is very well might be headed over here.
Yep, I was just about to say that. If Dable comes, expect Trubisky to come. I mean, that's a quarterback that is familiar with his system,
Yeah.
former first-round pick. And I'm going to be honest, he's not a bum. In my honest opinion, I don't think that he's a bum. I think he has tangibles that you can work with.
It's not a bum. He'll challenge Jones, and you'll have a real backup, if anything. So,
and he would fit if they still try to do the RPO, where Glennon, I mean, come on. I mean,
Right.
outside of the arm, I mean, what really could you compare between the two quarterbacks? I mean, but when you look at Trubisky and Daniel Jones, both are mobile, don't have the strongest arms, but they're relatively accurate. I mean, they're players you could work with. So I'm looking at Trubisky or even Mariota.
Yep. That's what I was gonna say, man. I think Mariota's your best choice.
Yeah,
You know,
I love Mariota.
he's been behind Derek Carr now for a couple of years. He's got time to, regroup and recharge his brain, get himself straight. He didn't do bad when he had to come in, for a couple plays here and there. I think there's still talent there with Mariota, and I think he would really do good playing with Daniel Jones. I think he would be a great help to him as well. And they're kind of the same play style, so that would be a perfect fit in my eyes.
I got a name. If you want to bring a guy in who you feel can challenge Jones, or do you want to bring in a guy that's going to teach Jones? And if you want to bring in a guy that's going to teach Jones because you do believe Jones can be the next decade, then why wouldn't you bring in Fitzpatrick?
Well, I'm looking, but that's the thing though. You want a guy that will challenge him as well. Like Mariota will challenge him not only mentally and physically, but he'll also be able to help him. I mean, that way, if he can't hold on, if he can't handle it, then at least Mariota can step in and do what he has to do. You know what I'm saying? But you do want him to challenge him because that's how he gets better, correct?
Yes.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Fitz is not challenging him in my eyes. I mean, I don't even.
Mentor,
Yeah, but I mean that Mariota can be a damn good mentor for him. I mean, he's been in the league now how many years? 7, 8? Like he's a vet,
He did 2 playoff runs as well with the Titans before he got hurt. Let's be real. He took that Titans team with way less talent to the playoffs than when Tannehill came in because Derrick Henry just got there when Mariota left. So I like Mariota a whole lot, and he has a lot better arm than people give him credit for. But Brick City 1-on-1's question was off the chain. I like that question that he asked. Miz is already here. Jason says make it happen, Miz. Miz has been talking a lot of good stuff here lately, and a lot of people shunned him off, but it's turned out to be he's been speaking truth, to be honest.
Right.
I appreciate
Montauk
that.
Whaler, he says Brick City 1-on-1, if he needs a QB to be brought in to do better, he needs to go. He shouldn't have to be drafted. He shouldn't have been drafted 6th in the first place. 30 teams had him slated as being drafted no higher than 3rd round. I don't believe that 3rd round thing, Whaler, because I believe the Broncos or the Washington football team would have took him before we got to 17. Because both those teams were known to be looking for a quarterback, and they like Daniel Jones. So I don't know about him being graded as a 3rd rounder. If he was graded as a 3rd rounder, no way we take him at 6. That doesn't make sense. If everybody had him graded at a 3rd round, why would we take him at number 6 if everybody had him graded at 3rd round? So I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Well, it's like I say about him, man, and this is coming from an Eagle fan. Daniel Jones is not actually that bad of a quarterback. Okay, he's really not. I've seen him play against us now for 3 years. I get it. His stats aren't always the greatest, but I look at the eye test. And, it's the same way I look at it for Hurts. These two can only do so much for what their team gives them. It's not like these quarterbacks are working with superstar talents here. They're really not. And you can see Daniel Jones is talented. He can throw the ball. I think you can get something out of him. I just don't know what that ceiling is. And honestly, you don't need an MVP quarterback to win the Super Bowl. You can. Did Eli win MVP the year you guys won the Super Bowl?
Nope, neither one.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it can be done. Just give him something to do it with. But the talent is there.
Most definitely. All
No, but you
right.
know what Eli did have that we have not, and they talked about it on Joe Schoen spoke about it today on the Tiki show. He basically said, I'm quoting him right
Tight
now,
end?
about Jones and Barkley. We haven't given them an opportunity to succeed. I am going to upgrade this O line, and you guys know that this is what it's about, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make a case, and you tell me how you guys feel. I make a case to you. This guy comes in here and builds one of the best O lines in the league because we have been so awful at it, and it's been spotlighted by the whole country that he's actually going to go all out on this O line. I believe that, man. I do.
I could see it happening, man. And to that quote, when I read that, man, it was beautiful. I mean, he had a lot of points. I mean, how could you expect your QB to succeed if he's on his back? How could you expect your running back to hit the holes if there's no holes available? I mean, this line hasn't done him any favors outside of Andrew Thomas. So I mean, I'm there with you, Miz. I mean, it's got
the Giants have 10 picks, right? Hit squad.
I think 11.
He said 11, but I think he was wrong. And now
He is.
saying 9, but I think it's 10.
It was confirmed by Pat Leonard. We only have 9 picks because we had to give up for the one trade there for, what was it, Billy Price, and then the kicker wasn't with Carolina for 3 weeks, so we don't get that trade either. It is 9 picks that we have. It's not 11.
Gotcha. I mean, that's still a lot of picks to work with.
Well, listen, man, the one thing I will say is we all know Howie Roseman's a dipshit, okay? But the one thing the man is right about is winning in the trenches is everything.
Yeah.
You know, I understand now as I've gotten older why picking linemen, defense, and offense means a lot, because that's what wins football games. We got to admit that. You know, so you're not doing the wrong thing by going offensive line. You're not doing the wrong thing if you go a little defensive line, because ultimately that's what your backbone is made of, you know? So
yeah, and we've been weak in both sides, so that's why this team has been pretty weak. Let's get back to the fans and their questions. He says, Eric Johnson says, take kid from Iowa as soon as possible. We've all been on that train, Eric, for real.
Thank you.
Tim, he says, I think Judge is a good coach. I think he'll be a good coach down the line. Most definitely. He just came into the messed up situation. Yeah. Forbidden Chief says, hell no. I don't know what he was saying hell no to, but he says hell no. Shout out to Forbidden Chief for being in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Hit that like and subscribe button. All right. I guess he's talking about a kid from Iowa. I don't know. He says, Linderbaum season, Super Tides. We know who you are, buddy. Thank you, bro, for always supporting. Tim, he said, Tim's straight out. Oh, yeah? Yeah. It is. Taj, she said, we about to draft them pigs, meaning hog mollies. We're going to have to come up with a new name, man. People don't like the hog mollies no more, man. Dave Gettleman is gone. We're about to come up with a new name, Taj. He says, Joey says, how you feel about Traylon Burks as a 4th rounder? That will never happen, Joey. If you get Traylon Burks in the 4th round, something drastically happened to Traylon Burks. Something came up very bad about his conduct or something, because Traylon Burks is going in the 1st round, a very early 2nd. Traylon Burks is an absolute monster. Tim, he says, yes, Judge wasn't given a fair chance. Oh, that's what he might have been saying hell no to. Joe Judge will be a good coach.
Ah, okay.
He said that personally. All right, Ramon, he said, all right, let's say we make all these cuts. How much cap space do you expect the Giants will have when the cuts and restructure contracts are completed? After cuts and restructures, they could get upwards of $42 million. Then if they do everything that I think they would do, it'll be around $47 million. And then, you know, they got to take about $12 million to get draft picks if we stand pat with our draft picks. So let's say we got about $30 million to work with in free agency. You sign the top right tackle. He's going to ask for about $22 million a year, but you know that very first year is not going to be $22 million. I think you get another offensive lineman with that. structure those contracts where it only takes about 20 million of your cap space. You got 10 million more to work with. It just depends on what they do, man. You know, the cap is very funny. I know the New Orleans Saints are $75 million over the cap, but somehow, some way, they will be underneath the cap and still have a lot of their players. So,
yeah,
and we all know that Taysom Hill contract is fake. He's never going to receive that much money. So, we know what they're doing, and that's why I think Sean Payton's leaving, because he knows it's butt season over there now. They're gonna have a what do you call it, expansion draft roster here soon. So he got out of there before it got embarrassing for him, and I don't blame him. They tried to get one and it didn't happen. This guy's name is just cool, Montu Whaler. He said Tim Striker. Oh, laugh a lot. Okay, enjoy your day.
right.
He said it's been a disaster since O'Hare, Snee, and company retired and were not replaced fairly by Reese and Get'em and equal 10 years of disaster. Very true. Miz, I'm gonna let you answer that question because you've been an advocate and you've been saying this for I don't know how long. People should start listening to you. You come up with very good information. You text me every day, and I appreciate that. You come up with very good information. You're very passionate, but I'll let you answer this because you've been talking about this for I don't know how long.
Yeah, listen, we went into last year, man. I went on my crazy rants about the O-line, and I was destroyed in the draft that we did not take one lineman in a draft that was full with them. So, you know, I just have to call that ignorance. I'm not going to pin it on any certain guy. I'm just going to say it was the whole thing, and that's why they're not here anymore. And proved to be the worst O-line in the league. So anyway, let's get to the positive. We're going into this draft. We have 2 picks in the top 7, and as much as it ain't exciting, it'll be exciting to this fan base because we know exactly what we need. I'm going 1-2 punch at the O-line. That's what I'm going.
Thank you for dropping those.
Give me the Carolina kid if he's there at 5, if we're lucky enough for him to be there, and give me Lindenbaum at 7, and I'm not thinking twice about it unless one of those major defensive ends falls to us at 5, then you have a decision to make. But not everything's going to be fixed in one draft. You know, I'm looking at a 2-year, 2-draft thing. So I have no problem with let's lock into the O-line in this draft. Then you could get a defensive end or a linebacker in the 2nd or 3rd rounds or whatever, a receiver in the 3rd round or 4th round or running back. You get all that. But the difference to me of getting a 3rd or 4th round O-lineman and getting a staple piece O-lineman or 2 in the top 7 is a monster difference. It is, and it's totally necessary, especially if you want to find out if Daniel Jones is the guy.
That's right. Give me the pork, baby. I want that pork. Suey pig.
I know what they say in the draft. You're supposed to go with the best talented players at what it doesn't matter what position. But you know what? I'm not sitting there right now with our team. I think need is huge for us.
Right.
Like no lie, man. I want to make a suggestion here. You got to go Linderbaum because other than the quarterback, your center is the most important person on your team. All right, think about it. Kelsey, how long was he a staple of our offensive line? He's the one that makes our offensive line adjustments for the defense, all that stuff. He protects our quarterback. You need a center who will be that guy, who's very knowledgeable of the game, who will help protect your quarterback. And that's why Miz is so right on this. You've got to take Linderbaum because he has to be that guy to protect your guy.
Yo, didn't you guys re-sign your center today or something?
No, we restructured Brandon Brooks' contract, and then he retired, so he's done.
Oh,
Yeah, he's done.
I didn't hear that
Yep.
retirement part. I didn't mean
And
that.
that's sad
We
because
saved like $12 million, but yeah, dude, he's had too many injuries. 3 years in a row now. His body's dumb.
I got one more thing to say, Pat, about the O-line. Then you guys can move on. You build this O-line right here this offseason, and we already know we have Andrew Thomas. And I still think that this coaching staff's going to try to do something with Lemieux. Nick Gates, we don't know what's going to happen because of the injury, so I'm going to leave him out. If you build this O-line in this early draft in the first 3 rounds, you know, I'll tell you what, man, you'll find that the Giants actually have weapons and receivers, and they'll be what they were supposed to be if you give them an O-line.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Galladay, Tony, Slayton, and Barkley. Okay?
Yeah. I truly believe that too, man, because you get motivated when you know that you can get the ball, to be honest with you. All right. Super Ty says Kolar. Yes, he means the tight end from Iowa State. I've been saying that for the longest. Best
Yes.
tight end in this draft. Eric Johnson, man, thank you for being so consistent with the messages, man. He says
Yes.
Thomas Linderbaum and a guy from NC State in 2 years called them kill, crush, destroy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I like that one.
Quanu,
40
right?
Luck.
Quanu?
What's going on,
Yeah,
40
Quanu.
Luck, man? Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you hit that like and subscribe button. Sorry for getting to your comments so late. He says Jalen Smith, Blake, Aziz, and edge rusher fix the D line. Jalen Smith, I have to take a little bit more film watch on him, man, because he does some things that I don't like, and then he does some things that I do like. But Jalen Smith is good. But if we have a chance to get Devin Lloyd, or we got this offensive line fixed, I'm taking Lloyd over Jalen Smith 10 times. 40 Luck back again. He says, I think our defense will get us in the playoffs, and also the offense will be better. Are you talking about this year or next year? Hopefully you're not talking about this year, because I'm not setting us up for failure this year, man.
Got
I'm
that
not going
right.
to put that much pressure on those guys, man. You guys have to understand that this is not something that has a foundation. A foundation has to be built. I think we got the right people in place to get it built, and I think they are going to get it built, and we will turn things around. And I will say this. I will be looking for a playoff run within the next 2 to 3 years. I will be looking for a playoff run then. I have to see what they do year one, and we're getting the offensive line fixed. I have to see what they do year one about contracts. I have to see year one what they do about coach. I have to see year one who's the head coach. I have to see who's the defensive coordinator. I have to see who's the offensive coordinator. We got to know all these things before we can start making predictions on how many wins and losses we're going to have in the first season, because you don't know. This was an absolute crap storm here, shit storm, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It was. That's what got Joe Judge fired. That's what that Dave Gettleman fired. And maybe Dave Gettleman was more of the reason why it was than we thought. Who knows?
Yep.
Maybe Dave Gettleman folded it in and called it in 2 or 3 years ago, and they just let him stay on because Mara's a loyal cat.
Right.
Or maybe Mara was meddling too much. Maybe he was. Who knows? But it was a shitstorm here, and it's not going to be fixed in 1 year, people. Patience is key. That's what your new GM was preaching to you without saying patience is key. That's why he kept saying rebuild, 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 rebuild. He wants to put that in your mind that we are going to do a true rebuild. And a true rebuild means that you may lose some people that you like on this team. They may be gone. We got to get a whole new coaching staff. We got to get a whole new scouting staff, just about. Maybe bring in a whole new training staff. He has to hire people in his front office.
Right.
And then he has to worry about the draft. Then he has to worry about free agency. He has to worry about his own free agents. This guy has a lot on his plate. He might have been up there young and smiling, but I guarantee you he'll have a few gray hairs in about 2 to 3 weeks. I'll tell you that now. No lie, because he has a lot on his plate. And he looks willing. He looks willing, like he's willing to take on a challenge. I think he's a young, eager guy.
Yep.
And I don't think he's going to bite off too way more than he can chew. I think he's a young, eager guy. The thing I'm most worried about is give him carte blanche, like you said, John Mayer.
Right.
Give him carte blanche. Let him run, try to get this up out of the gutter. And fans, give them time. Yeah. I don't want to see face painting clown noses on these guys after one year. You see what I'm saying? Or after 2 years, because we're 8-9, we missed the playoffs by a game or so. You guys suck. Do you know how bad this was? But we're such a good organization that people still said this was the job that they wanted.
Right.
100%.
Knowing that how bad it was over here. So yeah, that did give me a little bit of pride when he said this was the job that I wanted. He went out his way. That man could have went anywhere. He could be the GM of the Bears right now.
Well, I saw somewhere where he got a flight and he was like right next to the toilet. He's like, I don't care. Get me on that plane so I can interview.
Right.
Yeah.
And then his first official day as GM, he makes sure he gets interviews with coaches that may win in the playoffs, and he'll be able to interview them again if they won.
Right.
That's smart. He's quick on his feet. I'll give him that so far.
Yep.
Did he look a little nervous in the press conference? Yeah, he did. He's a young guy.
Who the hell wouldn't look nervous?
He's basically getting his dream job too, because obviously this was one of his dream jobs. He's been talking to Parcells pretty much his whole career. And Parcells told him that the job was becoming available. He probably jumped through the roof. So you got a guy that actually wants to be here.
And
you get your analytics or whatever you want to call it. You get the analytics with this young guy. So let him build. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, here's the thing, guys. You know, if he's been talking to Parcells, you know what Parcells told him. It's all about one of those right there. It's all about that ring. That's not a Super Bowl ring, but it's all about having a ring. Bring a ring to New York. You'll never have to buy a meal.
Parcells told him go to the Giants, because he said that the Giants are the best organization in the NFL. He told him that. He said that today. He said that out of his own mouth.
But you know,
and I was fighting with people 2 weeks ago because I took this personally. Nobody wants to be with the Giants. It's a trash organization. They're garbage. Nobody's running over there. Oh, yeah? Nobody's running over here to be with the New York Football Giants? Then how come the entire league, all these guys have been held up in a traffic jam, all waiting and hoping for interviews with the Giants? Huh?
Well, you were right, Miz. I just did not see it. I didn't see it. You know, looking from
not against you, Joe. It's against the outsiders that are fucking haters, man. That's what it is.
But I said it too, Miz. But you were right. I'll eat crow when I need to eat crow. I'm not ashamed of saying I was wrong.
You don't got to eat crow. I'm not even coming at you. I'm coming at the outsiders. I've dealt with a lot of Jets, Eagles. You know, these idiots.
I know what you did, but you know what I did? I said on air here. I said nobody wants to come here. I did. Okay. So it is what it is. So if I don't apologize to you, I'm apologizing to the fan base. I just didn't see it because I saw it so many other times with other organizations. And there's other organizations out there that are historic. I mean, if you look at the Bears, they're a historic franchise. You know, you look at the Niners, they've got some history to them. I mean, God, they got 5 titles.
Right.
You know, the Dallas Cowboys, they got history to them. And look at the turmoil they're in. So it's it wasn't just that we're trying to figure out where these coaches want to go, and just me as a person, okay, I want stability somewhere, and I just did not see the stability here. So apparently Mara told Shane something that he's going to have some stability here. He's going to get 3 or 4 years. More. You know, that does make a difference, Miz.
That does make a difference. 4 to 5 years, I think, for this guy.
Exactly, but that makes that a more intriguing job when you got the owner saying, "I'm definitely giving you 4 to 5 years. This is a whole new build. We know what to expect. We know what we're anticipating. That it's not good right now, but if you keep showing us improvement, you're definitely going to be here, and I'm going to give you 4 to 5 years to prove it." You know, that's stability, right? But when we were all arguing about the Judge thing and everything, which is one of the biggest reasons I wanted Judge back, I wanted some goddamn stability here, because I really do think that if Gettleman was gone when Judge got hired, this would be a whole different scenario. I think Judge would have been back here, because I know people aren't going to agree with me, but one day Joe Judge is going to be a head coach in this league, and he's going to be good.
Yeah, he get another chance. Why not?
Right.
He's young. He's 39.
Right.
I think for his first ever head coaching gig, New York City might have not been, you know what I mean? That's a tight-ass spot for someone new, you know?
Right.
That could have been too much for him. And
I'll tell you another thing. Go ahead. Sorry. I didn't know you would talk. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
What I was going to say is one more thing. I've said this for a few days, man, and people just keep on with this nonsense. You got to be smart. Dabo is the head coach of the New York Football Giants. Okay? The Flores interview is because of process. The Giants don't want to disrespect anyone. They're going to finish their process. Dabo has already been told under the table. There's an understanding that he was coming along with this guy from Buffalo. Okay? I hope you guys get that. And today, Mara gave you another hint. There won't be no Watson, which means now Flores won't be so happy.
Right.
You got to read into these things, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop looking into your heart and use your brain. And honestly, I was big on Flores for a moment last week. I was bought into the hype with the Watson, but then I sat and thought about giving up the picks, and it's not the right way to build a team. We'd be trying to do the quick fix again, and it doesn't
Yes.
work. And
Yes.
Wobble
And that's
fits
all
the
I was saying.
Giants.
That's
Yeah.
all I was saying.
I agree with you guys. Yes, I was off.
No, he froze.
I don't know. Maybe I smoked something that night. I was off for a moment. I wasn't myself. I
Yeah,
bought
you
into
never
the
know.
hype for a quick minute.
No,
It's not my way. You know my way is old school. So
You know, it's appealing. It's Deshaun Watson. It's Russell Wilson. These are Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks. True. Well, we're not a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback away for me and a Super Bowl team. We don't have Hall of Fame caliber money to give a quarterback right now.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in a position to give up draft capital. We only have 9 picks. So you willing to give up 4
5?
of those picks this year and 2 more next year?
no, man, no way, bro. No way.
Then what you put around the team. And like I said, I've had to eat crow as well. Joe came up. He said, Pat, how many games did the Texans win last year? I said 4. He said, really? Okay. How many games did they win this year?
Right.
And I said, oh, shit, 4.
It don't matter, right? No difference.
I said,
Right.
oh, shit. I said, oh, shit, 4. You're right. Now, am I saying they're still as good as a team without Deshaun Watson? No, but you are what you are. Your record says who you are. And they were 4 wins last year with him. They were 4 wins this year without him. So is that poop on Deshaun Watson? Hell no. I think that dude's top 3 in this league at quarterback, to be honest with you. But I don't think we can afford him right now. It just doesn't make sense for us right now if we're trying to rebuild through the draft. You guys can't have it every way that you want it. You can't have Deshaun Watson and still get Linderbaum, Ekwonu, all these guys that you want. Get the defense built. You can't have it both ways. And a lot of fans think they could just have it all, and you can't.
Right.
It's either you're going to build a makeshift roster around Deshaun Watson and hope you can create a miracle, like I say, be Jesus in cleats, and take us to the promised land by himself. Not too many quarterbacks can do that. I can't name one that didn't have a good team around him when he went and won the Super Bowl.
Man, all I can see is if Deshaun Watson comes here, it's going to be just like Mahomes was in the Super Bowl. He's going to be running for his friggin' life because we got nothing up there. He's going to be getting killed.
Yeah. And Shane came out and said it today. He doesn't even really like going out and signing these big free agents.
Right.
He would rather develop his own
He'd
players.
rather
than
develop
capture
his
them.
own players and re-sign them. You're very right, Hit Squad.
So
And I'll
that'd
be honest with you, I'm excited about that, because if we can draft players that we could give second contracts, that means we're doing good.
I really think Shane's going to trade down. I have a feeling, guys, because he wants to develop his own players. How do you do that with draft picks? So if we trade down the 5 and the 7, which I can see it, I can see it. If he feels the revenue's there to trade down for more, get 11 draft picks next year, maybe get 5 in the top 100, 6 in the top 100. Top 80 even. I can see it happening.
What if he does that and he drafts just the best player available every time? Say he trades down both times and Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean with the 16th and 20th pick, whatever he gets with those trade down the best people available.
Right.
Would you be pissed off if he took both those players and took a receiver in the 2nd round, got 2 tight ends in the 3rd round? What if all those players turn out to be just as good as advertised as he thought they would be? We got an offensive lineman here or there in free agency, and the offensive line is not that great still. And Daniel Jones turns to be not the guy. And then the very next year he comes and he drafts a quarterback and they get their guy. I mean, it could go like that, man.
Just because we don't like that offensive lineman and we think he's a developmental process doesn't mean that he thinks the same thing as we do.
Yeah, because there's been guys in the 6th round drafted and they turn out to be damn good players.
Exactly.
Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs.
Yeah. So just because we don't like them doesn't mean that Shane doesn't like him, because he's already got the first 4 rounds of the draft in his head as to far who's there, who's not. And if he feels that guy's going to be there at 12 or 14, look, if he feels Linderbaum's down there at 12 or 14 and he trades away the 5th round or 7th round pick, but he still drafts Iquanu at 5, okay, we still get our guy, and then we get future capital.
Yep.
No,
Which
so
is what we
let's and that might be his game plan, man. He might want to have 10, 11 picks each year for the next 2-3 years. Don't be upset at that. Take capital, turn it into capital.
Yep.
All I know is that smile was of a man who was up to something when he was asked about the draft. His smile was too hard.
Yeah.
So he's up to something. There may be some stuff behind the scenes. He may know that more capital's coming because of people. I don't know, but he's up to something. That's just a smile of a man I know that's up to something. All right, he says, man, Monto Weller. Okay, man, I think you're gonna be a regular. Him and James Earl Mones, man, best names on YouTube. He says Robert Maziano, 10 years of disaster stems from having a stiff QB on the roster. He should have been 86 years ago. Plus his overrated salary screwed up Big Blue. Greedy family. You must be talking about the Mannings. Eli Manning definitely should have been canned. Not canned, but I don't know, man. There was a sense of loyalty to Eli from Mara that they did deserve to do him better his last years because they did not fix the offensive line. And I think Eli Manning had a lot left in the tank those years before his very last year. If he would have had an offensive line, I think he would have had a way better career as far as passing yards, touchdowns, and record. So I don't know. I got to look at that 2 ways.
They tried to fix the O-line, but Weston Richburg and Pugh and Flowers just weren't the freaking answer.
Yeah, our scouting team was absolutely shit. Let's just be honest with you.
Right.
Absolutely.
He says, Eric Johnson, did you use to attend games when they played in the Bronx and at the Yale Bowl?
Oh, because he's been a fan since '67.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not 70, so no. Right.
He said, Eric Johnson, and how about the DN from Florida State, Johnson? We've talked about Johnson as well. Yep. All you guys go look at the pick is in. We did a great evaluation on defensive ends. Me, Joel, and Nate Talks Football. If you're in the chat, shout out to Nate. We do breakdowns, and we're going to do a breakdown of every position as far as when it comes to the draft. The pick is in. You guys tune into that. It's me, Joel, and Nate Talks Football. We'll have some special guests sometimes, but if you want to know what we know about those draft prospects, Florida State's Johnson, I think he's a good prospect. But my meter came down a little bit after watching film on him. He has a lot to work on. He really does. I think he still goes in the 2nd round, maybe high 2nd round, though, Eric. Real talk. Earl says that Montuel, I'm not in favor of doing it, but if DJ is not the answer, let's get the young QB in here. Look for what Shane did to get Allen and Diggs. Cost the Bills, mucho draft picks, could be deja vu. Could be. I mean, it could be. I don't know, but I think you give Daniel Jones a shot, man.
I think.
And the reports that's coming out, what he said in the press conference, and Mara saying we did everything we could to screw the kid up.
Right.
I think he gets his last shot here this year, and whatever system's brought here, and they're gonna go from there. Go ahead, Joe. I know you had something to say on that.
No, just I agree. Let's run with DJ. Because if we do, let's say we do get our line fixed this year and we're seeing some progress, but DJ's just not the guy. Next year, we could probably afford to give up some capital to move up and get Stroud or Bryce Young or whoever's coming out. It's going to take a lot of capital to move up, probably 3 firsts. So with us trading down and getting a future first next year, that might make it a little easier. We could still maybe get a guy or 2, but yeah, if we do that, it definitely will be next year. We're going to have to see if they pick up the 5th-year option. That's going to be the next question for Shane and this crew.
Go ahead, man. You have something to say, man?
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right, we'll get a chance after. I just wanted to say something about Lindenbaum.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to say about Lindenbaum is Some people may not realize because they call him, oh, he's just a center, and you don't pick up a center in the top 10. This guy's way more than a center. He's probably one of the best players in this entire draft. And a center hasn't been drafted, I believe. I did some homework. 1968 was the last time a center was drafted in the top 10. I believe so. Well, this is the type of guy that matches that type of level. That's worthy of that for a team if they really need it.
Hey, all I'm going to say is Quentin Nelson, Miz. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson was taken 6th. Everybody would love to have him.
And the Colts got hammered that draft for drafting him 6th too.
Yeah.
They said that was a dumb pick and everything. I don't remember that.
Yep.
All right. Dumb pick, I know. You got to know what's good for you and what fits your need. Need matters. I know you're supposed to go best talent. Listen, need matters. You can match the two. You can match the two if it's there.
Exactly. Man, Montouk Whaley, he says, Graham already said he's willing to stay even if he doesn't become head coach. That is true. Earl says, Kohler is a beast, Pat. Yes, he is. Ned says, I like Lloyd. Bama's Bryce Young. I'm not too sold on him yet, Earl. I have to see.
Yep.
Obviously, I believe he is the Heisman Trophy winner. Yes, he was. Eric Johnson says, there's somebody who has a mock draft on air who has us trading from 5 to 25. I let him have it. He must be mad. Man, they must be giving us the absolute farm.
Right.
Farm.
Right.
I mean, we must have that first round draft pick until 2026. All right. He says, at Earl, if the Giants draft a QB, it will be the fella from Pitt. Plus, he's from the area. They love having guys from the area on the team. Yeah, and I think that guy reminds them of a little bit of Josh Allen a little bit. He just doesn't have the same arm as Josh Allen. But I would prefer them to just build other areas besides the quarterback and see what Jones has. Tony B, thank you for tuning in. He says, I say keep Barkley 100%. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're still in the chat. Big Rob, he says, there are many ways Sean can address the many problems we have to wait and see the cuts, and I'm with you all in on Kohler at tight end. Man, I'm telling you, Kohler is a monster. And yeah, there are many ways Shane can address the problems he had. He says, I want to keep Saquon super tired. What's going on? Miz, we're going online heavy in this draft to find out what Jones Barkley can do. I wish they will, Miz. He says the Earl says, Montague Welly, he says at Earl 14 Bills or no one else would give up a pick no higher than 3rd round, and they aren't going to receive more than 1 pick. If you go from pick 20 to number 5 or 7, you're giving up a lot. Mm-hmm. That draft chart that they use, that number 5 pick is worth a lot. You're going to have to give up a lot to go that high from like 20 or something, for sure.
Might be 2 first.
Right. You're going to have to be 2 first. Earl 14, he says, Branch Rickey, ex-baseball GM, and a good one said to Ralph Kenner at Contract Talks, we came in last with you. We can win last without you. Kenner hit over 50 home runs. So he's talking about Saquon Barkley. Barkley isn't going to be traded. They would think it would be an embarrassment to franchise, and why would we trade him? So we have to defend against his running when he breaks out for another team. So basically saying you don't want to get rid of him because you don't want to say talk about him being good on another team. Well, I mean, we're doing that now.
It's true.
It just depends on what we get back, Al Monroe. If somebody offers you a 1st or 2nd round pick for Saquon Barkley, you have to listen, bro. I'm not saying you pull the trigger, but you have to listen to that. Just being honest with you. All right, man. Let's get to some questions at the bottom, man. No, man, I'm so crazy about everybody coming in the chat.
I know.
This is crazy.
It's been a great stream.
I know.
It has. I'm probably gonna wrap it up at 4 hours, man. I'm getting a little tired. Yeah, there he goes, James Earl Moans.
Yes.
There he goes. He said, great job and great salary. He hit the lottery. Yeah, he did. If you're talking about Joe Shane. He said Linderbaum was a defensive lineman turned center. Y'all need to remember this remember this. He's going to be able to read coverages. That's true. Oh, we already got somebody that says Joe Schoen train. We're going to win 7 to 8 games next season.
Congratulations!
Thank you for tuning in, bro.
Yes, sir.
Right. Hit that like and subscribe button. Heavyweight champion of the world, give Galladay a pay cut. Woo! All right. James Ramones, a middle of the pack online next season will be a huge step forward. Right. Real talk. He said, Hog Molly's all the way. My main man, Miz, is right. Yeah, Miz has always been right about the offensive line, man.
Yeah.
Big play Slade.
I hear you. I'm here.
Oh, shoot. Was that Slade down there earlier? That
Yeah.
might have been, man, hey, Slade, if you want to call back in, bro. I didn't see you. He says Trubisky is solid. He says, Pat, I don't know why people like to compare Daniel Jones and Ryan Tannehill. It makes absolutely no sense. Jones is better throwing the deep ball, and he has less better runner and good straight line speed. Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, man, to be honest with you. It's like you try to compare him to people, but Daniel Jones is just Daniel Jones. Put an offensive line in front of him, give him a good system. I think he could be a good quarterback in his league. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, man. There you go, Slay. Marjorie, thank you for tuning in. He says Joe Schoen has referred having 11 picks this year. Giants only have 9 picks. They lost 2 7th rounders with Billy Price trade and the conditions not being met for Ryan Santoso trade. Yeah, so we have 9 picks. Eli was clutch. Al Moran says Eli was clutch. Man, you guys have absolutely worn me out today.
Oh, I know.
Gordon Miller, shout out to Gordon Miller in the chat. He says we will see in the new GM can deliver. We will see what the new GM can deliver. Yes, we will.
Yeah. Looking good so far.
Yeah. At this point in time, we're almost at 4 hours. So I'm gonna let the panel say what they have to say, then I'm gonna go last, and we're gonna cut it out of here, man. Thank you for the consistent 40 to 50. We had 97 people in here in the chat at one time. That was absolutely amazing. For a regular stream, that's absolutely amazing. I appreciate everybody's support.
Thank
you.
I'm gonna let these guys get their final words out. We're gonna start with Miz. Slade cut out. He got out of here before I can do this. He knew what was coming. But it's not a show. It's not a show without a boss Slade. So thank you for tuning in, Slade. But Miz, everybody who AK, I'm gonna let you go first. Then I'm gonna go to Miz, Hit Squad, Joel, and me. We're gonna give our final words about the whole stream, the whole thing. AK, thank you for coming in, even though you're an Eagles fan, but you're our brother. Nobody does it like you do, bro. Give out your final shout outs and we'll get out of here, man. It's been a long day.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I am AK Eagles from the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I do 7 shows a week pretty much. I have my normal show. I do the Eats Meets West with Philly Foothills, who I raise the money for. I have my late night in the cave with One Trey Rock, and then I have my own late night show. And, so there's a lot going on over there in the Conspiracy podcast, which will be coming up here on every Monday very soon. So, just got a lot going on, man, but I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
All right, AK, Miz. Tell them what it is, Miz.
Hey, what's going on? This is the Miz. You guys know what it is. I just talk the football and try to keep it as real. It just comes from the heart, and I really bleed for this team. So I'm excited. You should be excited. I know we did this 2 years ago, but we're gonna try to do it again. Trying to keep it positive, but it looks like the Giants finally might have a direction. And don't go expecting Super Bowls right away, but look at a 2-year buildup. I do think you will actually see some good wins starting next year because the schedule might favor it. But check me out on Miz on the midday. I don't usually set a day. I just come up with it the day of when I just feel spontaneous as something's going on. Today we had Pat and Joe, so I didn't need to do it. And it took a lot of weight off my back. So thanks for doing this. This is a great stream. And check us out on Tuesday nights. We got the Cave with the Blue Crew.
Yep. Hit Squad, what you got for me, bro?
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, man. Big Blue Crew for life, man. Y'all can find me at Hit Squad Productions on YouTube. Y'all can find me on Twitter under Hit Squad Productions as well. I agree 100% with Miz, man. I mean, we should all be excited. I know that we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we should all be excited. I really do think that Shane is going to come in here and turn things around. All that I ask before I turn this to Joel is, Giants fans, do not run this man out of town after 2 years because you feel that he's not the answer. We got a lot of things that we have to work on. We have pieces that we can build with, but it's going to take us some time. Let's be patient. Let's trust the process. I know we're getting tired of that, but let's really trust the process and let these guys do their job.
Well said, Hit Squad. Look, make sure y'all join us later tonight on Pat's channel at 9:30 tonight. We're gonna have another show.
Also.
Huh?
Yeah,
we're that's why I'm here to remind you, my guy. You know, we're gonna have what is it, the Big Blue Crew tonight, or
the True Big Blue podcast?
True, there you go, tonight at 9:30. Make sure y'all come on back for that. We'll probably be discussing this again, along with some other things that might break later today. I'm sure that a lot of us are going to be doing research, reading articles, listening to NFL Network, yada yada. It's a wonderful thing to be a co-host here with Pat. I enjoy talking to him so much. And look, man, shout out to the chat, man. This is one of the biggest streams that we've been in. You guys made this possible. Y'all really made our day. This was so fun to do. I love the interaction. I love the questions. I love the comments. And I appreciate every one of you 100%. Just, take a time out of your day to sit back and watch an old man sit here and talk about football with these other young fellas. I am the oldest one of the bunch, so I do get to say that. Again, Pat, thank you so much. I love that you went live today, and I was a part of this.
Yeah. Joe, I need you to stay on the stream afterwards.
Yep.
AK, Miz, Hit Squad, all the Big Blue Crew. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If I shout out everybody in the chat, we'll be here for another hour.
Right.
If I to get to everybody's name. We read as many questions as we could, man. We went for 4 hours. We have a new GM here in place, folks, and he wants to rebuild. Rebuild. Remember that word, rebuild.
Yep.
That does not happen in 1 year. It does not happen in 2 years. In most cases it takes 3, sometimes even 4 years. So please keep in mind that this will be the first true rebuild we've had in years. So you can't get rid of a guy after a year or so just because you're mad we're not winning. This is not a win now situation. This is a rebuild situation. I think we got the right guy here, and we'll see who he brings in with him. Maybe you see a Brian Dabo and a Wink Martindale comes with him. Maybe we keep Patrick Graham. And like I said about Patrick Graham, I'm not mad if he leaves because that man deserves everything that comes to him. That man was here for 2 years. Yeah, I see Miz in the background. His first kiss ever.
By the way, a small report. If you're living on the East Coast in the major cities from Philadelphia up through New York City to Boston, the latest reports are go batten down your hatches because they're talking about 30 inches of snow in the major cities.
Ooh.
Rodney, what's going on? Yeah, we do give out reports about that as well because we do care about people's well-being. People in the New York area, if you are getting 30 inches of snow, that's blizzard level. Make sure you have a lot of food. Make sure you have drinks. Make sure you have everything to keep yourselves warm during that storm. That's crazy, man. 30 inches of snow, man. That's almost as tall as a kid.
Go get some batteries. Get some batteries for your radio because if you do have trouble arise, you can find out where the shelters are. Make sure that you guys are prepared into that area also.
Yes.
Make sure that you have a list of phone numbers. Make sure your cell phones are definitely charged. If in case the house phone goes out, if you have one, if you don't have one, make sure your phones are definitely charged, and don't be searching Facebook and all that, so you can make calls when you have to.
Exactly.
Stay warm.
Because there could be
Yeah,
power
I have,
outages. There could be
candles
people can
handy,
be
they tell
snowed
you.
in. Yep, people can be snowed
Candles
in.
handy. We live in a neck of the woods where a lot of electricity usually goes out. Staten Island, Jersey, so
Yep.
they're saying this could go down as one of the biggest snowstorms in East Coast history. So we'll see.
So
And
I
if you're
can
like
plan.
me,
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, yes. Oh no, I was just gonna say it. If you're like me and you live in the South, specifically Florida, go outside. It's 80 degrees outside.
Right.
Go
Hey,
outside.
it's gonna be
touch some
about
grass.
70 here, so hey, we all good. Yeah.
Man, you guys are killing me.
I'm sorry,
But,
Joe.
hey.
We'll put you down here.
Shout out to the whole chat that's here. Yeah, 18 degrees. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a low of -2.
You guys making me feel bad. It's 87 right now.
Yeah. That's why I did it. Good.
And Rodney says he's in Connecticut. He's not looking forward to the storm. My goodness, the Connecticut gets it even worse, I believe.
Yeah.
But man, listen, we're at the 4-hour mark. I did not know where we were going 4 hours today. I'd like to thank all my guys for coming in.
Absolutely.
Like I said, Joe, stay on after the stream. Have to talk to you for a second.
Yes, sir.
Hit Squad, Miz, AK. Love you guys. I'm not scared to say it. And no pause.
Love you too, bro.
Love you
Love
guys.
you too, bro.
Always
too,
showing
big bro.
support and love, man. Love all the chat that was here. 97 people. I'm still can't get over that. 97
Right.
people in the chat at one
Right.
time. That's so
Congrats,
dope, man.
Congrats.
That's huge.
I'm gonna give you 98 when I hop on my other name and like. That's what I do. So you're gonna have 98.
But
We'll get you
man,
100.
Hopefully
All
we'll
right.
catch everybody tonight. 9:30.
Yep, 9:30 tonight. Hopefully, get everybody come on. Go do your research. Bring your questions. You know, we're gonna answer those questions. I think that's how we're gonna start doing it going forward when we get bigger and bigger.
Right.
It's gonna take some time to answer you guys' questions, man, because you guys want to be heard, and we're gonna get to those questions, and we're gonna give you opinions on a whole lot of things. So you guys continue to come in the chat, and we're gonna continue giving you answers that you want to hear. Okay. So you all know what it is, man. Until the next one. 9:30. It used to be smoke screen, but now it's the Big Blue Crew official outro. AK, Miz, Hit Squad, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, peace.
This has been a Big Blue Crew production.
Oh,